of your CD and hope maybe the diehards or someone will notice the track 10 isn't 10 minutes long. You're just too damn afraid to say what you mean. Or are you too damn afraid to say what you feel? Cause there's nothing worth living for if you can't even afford to be honest with yourself. Grains of slaughter falling around you, snow glowing like it's under you own the words that you say. Or are you too damn afraid to say what you mean? Or are you too damn afraid to say what you feel? To believe that you have grown so detached. The smell of hope is turned to ash. You think it's easy to exist like this out in the world, and you have crashed on the phone. This now, there somehow. All your repeating mystery will just be sinking on the ship. We can try to do better. Oh, it doesn't matter in your eyes. We'll just be sinking on the ship. Oh, we can try to be better. Oh, it doesn't matter in your eyes. In your eyes. We'll just be sinking on the ship. Oh, we can try to do better. Oh, it doesn't matter in your eyes. We'll just be sinking on the ship. Oh, we can try to be better. Oh, it doesn't matter in your eyes.
Einen wunderschönen guten Sonntagabend wünsche ich und herzlich willkommen zurück bei Pathfinder. glaube, ich habe ausnahmsweise soweit alles vorbereitet. Zumindest wüsste ich nichts, was mir abgeht. Also auf in die Taverne, die wir letztes Mal verteidigt haben. Eigentlich, wenn ihr die ausschaut. Ein merklicher Unterschied, kann man die eigentlich auslassen. Schau like gerade noch was wegen an Licht so viel zu als vorbereitet. Ich meine, man könnte das heller machen. Aber eigentlich ist es nicht wirklich. Ich glaube, dass das Schwarzlicht dabei sogar wirklich reicht. Bin halt eine Spur dunkler, aber whatever. So, ja. Taverne verteidigt, Spells verbraucht. Ich glaube, wir fangen einmal damit an, einfach zu resten. Bevor wir irgendwo hingehen. Ja, okay, wenn das Game dunkel wird. Das ist schon krass finster, gell?
Maybe you could help out at an infirmary.
Plumping pillows for wounded paladins is one thing, but constantly wading through the gore and stench? Not a chance.
Ja, wenn's Game dunkel wird, dann macht die zusätzliche Beleuchtung schon einen Unterschied. So, sauber gerestet. Spells wieder ready, perfekt. Wie schauen wir beim Inventar aus? Relativ mittelmäßig. Zu viele Scrolls auf Inflict Light Wounds. Ich glaube, ich werde einmal Zap einfach weg damit. Ich will sie nicht verkaufen, weil keine Ahnung warum. Aber wegkehren sie. So. Wiegt ja doch ein bisschen, wenn man das ganze Papier durch die Gegend zahlt. So, dann muss ich noch kurz ein Excel aufmachen, deswegen ist der Sound nochmal weg. So viel zu, alles vorbereitet. Exploit blockiert, what? What? Whatever. So. Und zwar habe ich da ja jede Menge Bücher mit mir. Und da werden wir jetzt zumindest eins lesen. Und dann kann ich das bei mir als gelesen markieren. A Thousand Revolutions. For the third night in a row, I've dreamed of grey gardeners knocking at my door. I cannot believe it is my turn to be cut down by a blade washed in blood of 1,000 revolutions as a wave of popular outrage washes over me as my head tumbles down the steps of the scaffold. We take up the sword, and by it we shall perish. Once we struck down the Imperials come, but now it is we who must face the blade. The insurgent beast called revolution will never be sated. It needs new victims. This time it's my comrades and I. The cruelty of the hoarders in my power echoes in the cruelty of the paupers, now intoxicated by their own freedom. We want a change? Well, here it is. This is my country now of mad fanatics fighting their treacherous past every day. Former friends are today's foes. My workshop has been converted into a secret headquarters. If I could do it all over again, I would repair to my easel and refrain from the cause that sent me down this path. So, dann haben wir da noch ein Rezept. Muss ich das einmal Copy. Ich glaube nicht, dass ich Hosilias Order... Naja, okay, weil es hat 0 Gewicht und 0 Wert, also... Lassen wir es einmal... Doppelt werde ich die Bücher nicht brauchen. Weg damit. Deal. Okay, so. Dann habe ich diverse Quests. Mal schauen, wie es da vorne draußen jetzt dann ausschaut. Werden sie wohl schon aufgeräumt haben, oder? Naja. Ein paar Leichen liegen noch rum. Da liegt der große.
Godspeed.
Ah, da liegt noch Loot. Sharp Claw, das werde ich alles nicht brauchen. Nö, es kann liegen bleiben. So, wen wollen wir dabei haben? Ich glaube, die Party passt mal ganz gut. Jo, den nehmen wir. So. Tieflings Hideout ist eine Quest für ein Voldschiff und sie ist relativ nah. Let's go. Prepare to fight. Always ready.
Do not fear. Do not waver.
Okay, wir haben große Spinne und 2 Fliegen.
Cover me, all right?
I'll cut you wide open.
Sollte jetzt nicht so das Problem sein, der Fight.
You've crossed the wrong mark.
Sage doch. Easy. Ah, die Katze ist wieder mit. Brave Katze. So, continue. Okay, da über die Spalte dauert es ein bisschen länger. Du enter this location. Certainly, certainly.
Let us press on.
Sister carries me. Their basement is dark and dank, and we are immediately struck by the hostility of the gathering thieflings. 5 of them are kneeling along the wall, separated from the rest. The tall woman, who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of her knife, greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Woolchief, you got my message then? Sorry, I couldn't swing by sooner, dear sister carries me. It was just one thing after another. First, I was in shackles, next... Well, no, I was still in shackles. I was being watched, and then the chief got me out, and I came here straight away. I knew you'd been waiting on me. Enough talking or else we'll be here all night. So, with a clear plan, we are going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and leave. Even if the neighbors called the guard, there was time to get away. But what happened? That bitch Erebeth showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us, and I have a good idea who it was. What do you have to say? Make it quick. So, wir haben zur Auswahl. Do you think Woolchief knows the name of the traitor? Lawful? The burden of proof lies on the accuser. Woolchief doesn't have to prove anything. Canaris is burning. Why are squabbling here instead of fleeing the city? Woolchief, tell us your side of the story. What happened? Da können wir angreifen, I'll kill you and all and put an end to this, wenn wir es nicht sagen. Und dann könnte man einfach sagen, wir wollen damit nichts zu tun haben. Ich würde sagen, der Wolfschiff soll einfach mal seine Seiten erzählen und dann können wir reden anfangen. Wolfschiff, tell us your side of the story. What happened? Carrie's mate turns to you. He speaks. I thought Wolfschiff only brought you so you'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Charisma got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, I mean. Wolfie jerks his head toward the 5 feelings kneeling by the wall. She rounds us up and she says, we've got a score. Ancient Trees and Wonders, the one place nobody's ever been able to hit. The place that's guarded by a golem. But now a powerful scroll that would knock out the golem just happened to come into our possession. Along with a tip off the shop owner would be gone in a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic, and we know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny, so we are in. And the most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging about the shop ahead of the job. No casing out the place, no calling attention to ourselves from either the golem or its master. This job was top secret. That's all true so far. Go on. We did everything right, with the logs and the golem. I picked the lock. I remember it clear as day. Sister Dalna was on lookout. Brother Melrune had the scroll. Duffy, Tavy and Varnia brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them in a sack. And one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under a table after it, and next thing I know, Irabeth was there. Everybody scampered, but I still was on a table, not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off me, about 20,000 worth, and to add insult to the injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you, poor thing, stripped you of your loot, and you didn't even manage to stash anything? Charisma is pointedly polishing her knife. Where's the moon of the abyss, brother Wolfchief? What is the moon of the abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of ancient Trees and Wonders. Sterling silver, sparkled like a star, fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know, a crescent, a waning moon, and in the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Philemon was so proud of that amulet. He used to say, I'll never sell it, it's the jewel of my collection. Wolfchief sighs unhappily. I used to go there to see what kind of treasures there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Canabras. People used to claim it was a wonderful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you have the Everybody knew that you were always hanging around ancient trees and wonders drooling over the moon of the abyss. And keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you'd get scot-free with a fancy trinket to boot? Don't take me for a mug, Wolfchief. I see right through you. Go on, Wolfchief. That's the whole story. Wolfchief crosses his arms, looking affronted. Some family this turned out to be. It's just a name in the end. In a real family, people take each other at their word. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the moon of the abyss. What am I gonna do with it? You can't sell it to no crusader, it's a special item. You can't wear it, it will get nicked. It's pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't that pretty. If it's important to you, Sister Charisma, I'll find it. And I'll drag the trader here by his horns, just so you don't end up at the bottom of the cellar. But you know that you're gonna owe me for that? An apology, right here, in front of everyone. You're going to apologize loud and clear so everybody hears it. You'll say, sorry Wolfchief, you're a good guy and I was wrong about you. Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, brother Wolfchief, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison in every cup and every meal. You look into the eyes of every thiefling you meet, wondering if the family come for you. You'll have no peace, but one day you'll be tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath, and that is when we will get you. Got that? You have a way with words, Sister Chrisme, a way that almost made me wet myself. By the way, nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scary gal Irobeth. She knows you a little. We can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking. We'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onward, Irobeth. Onward to Irobeth, Chief. Let's go clear my good name. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time is running out. I don't want to get chewed up by demons. Dann können wir da noch kurz einfach alles mitnehmen. Das stört die Jungs sicher nicht. Okay. Das heißt wohl zurück zur Taverne direkt. Kurzer Ausflug bisher.
We march ahead.
Iref rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? There's a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who is your informant among the thieflings? Iref arches her brows in surprise. Canaris is threatened by a demon horde and you have enough spare time to help out thieves? But I hope you know what you are doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note and disappeared. Irobeth hesitates as she tries to remember. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the horns, the long horns, didn't fit under it. There should be a guardian golem in the ancient recent wonders, the shop they tried to rob. The owner gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact, so you can interrogate the thing and find out what it saw. The code word is Hand of Irori. The shop's owner must have escaped, but there's a chance you'll get lucky with the golem. Na dann, auf zum Golem. Und davor werden wir das nächste Buch lesen und direkt wieder dem netten Herrn bei der Taverne verkaufen. Das ist diesmal ein längeres. Adventures of a Fearless Crusader. Briggy the Sausage Maker. By Perfumel from Pitax, the Sharp Word Publishing Company. For dinner, the wounded were served cabbage soup. This didn't surprise them in the slightest. They'd had the same dish for dinner for a week. The hospital's residents used to be lucky enough to get potatoes and even turnips sometimes, but about a month ago the Knights of the Order of the Thrice Holy Shining Sun and Dissipating Darkness Scimitar of our beloved goddess Serenray accidentally shot a catapult the wrong direction and annihilated the cart of the farmer who supplied the hospital with these vegetable delicacies. Oh Gott. Zuerst die beiden Namen von diesen Ritterorden. Man kann es da echt übertreiben und dann auch noch zerstören sie die Lieferwagen vom Farmer. Okay. Ever since the wounded only had cabbage soup for dinner, occasionally with a bit of protein when the odd cockroach crawled into the pot. Lecker. After enjoying their delightful meal, the wounded stuffed their smoking pipes with something which rather more resembled hay than tobacco. Their bad habits demanded the inhalation of some smoke or other after mealtime, but with these practical matters happily resolved, they fell to talking. Which demon do you think is the most dangerous? Asked Wooslich the spearman, scratching the top of his leg with the stub of his arm. I think it's abracandalous. Those monsters are cunning and sneaky, almost like the Varisians, and their teeth are even sharper. Look, he illustrated his point for his comrades by holding up his remaining fingers. 2.5 of them. It depends the way you look at it, answered Gregory the artillerist. Though she could hardly look at it all. Her eyes were covered with bandages. Your abracandalers are easy pickings, but Baylor's are a different thing. He hits you with his whip and your eyes pop out. Sie muss es scheinbar wissen. She waved her pipe energetically, casting its contents into Wuslik's face. While the latter was coughing and brushing himself off, Briggy joined the conversation. Baylors and abracandalers are alright, I suppose, but I'd say there isn't a demon world scarier than a regular louse. Of course, the other demons can teleport places, but the louse doesn't even need to do that. Wherever you look, it's already there. Then he stuck his hand under his shirt, pulled out the subject of his speech from somewhere in his armpit and demonstrated it to his friends. You can run away from a big demon with a whip, but who can run away from lice? They sting everyone from the foot soldier to the general. Even the queen herself isn't immune. Now you might say it doesn't do much harm. After all, how much blood can one louse drink? But I'm telling you, I think how much soldier's blood they've drunk altogether, it's got to be a whole sea. Wouldn't you think? More than all the demons in the abyss. And if anyone tells me Laos isn't a demon, then haha to them. Could a monster like that come from anywhere besides the abyss? Okay. So, dann Golem. Soll mal verhören. Oh, da ist das wahrscheinlich der Loot, den er mir angezeigt hat. Oh, nö. Hallo. Schwarzbier und Dagger werden wir nicht brauchen, aber das ganze Gold. Die wollten da einfach das Gold bei den Leichen lassen. Das kann man ja noch verwenden. Steuer war doch zu sehen. Wie sie ziehen. Hey Jungs, geht nichts weiter, hm?
Our path leads on.
Party passt weiterhin, würde ich sagen. You failed to sneak past the enemies. Prepare to fight.
Yet another obstacle.
Zwei Spideys. Okay, das sollte ja eher ungefährlich werden.
The spirits demand your blood. Ha!
Into the fray!
Strike as one.
Surrender or else!
You won't survive me.
Wie so oft. Lan regelt.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Wir überlegen nur gerade beim Golem vielleicht doch sie mitzunehmen statt ihr. Ich meine, ist sie Wissenschaftlerin. Vielleicht bringt mir das was. Ich werde noch kurz ihr Spellbook checken. Es sollte aber soweit ganz okay sein von der Belegung her, ja. Ja, das müsste passen. Okay.
I will guide us.
Hello, is anyone there? Da ruft schon jemand. Scroll of Bless Weapon. Available to Sela.
No reason to pause.
The polished oak shelves once showcased magic rings and amulets. Now all that's left are the grubby handprints of the robbers. Finian the talking weapon. Phew! Free at last! I thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under that rubber. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is still foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? The name's Finian. I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will. Pathfinder Society. The Pathfinder Society is a globe-spanning organization based in Absalom. The membership consists primarily of Pathfinders, adventurers who travel throughout Golarion, usually inconspicuously, and explore, delve, and other experience the lesser-seen parts of the world. They send journals document their travels back to their adventure captains, who also assign them new missions and suggests new places to explore. The most exciting and illuminating of these journals are compiled in the Pathfinder Chronicles, an ongoing series of books that collect the history and mystery of Golarion for its membership and the general public. Okay, also Abenteurer. You're a Pathfinder? That's right, Finian Dismar, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the world wound wherever my task leads me. Scouting mostly, but this last while I've just been hanging around in Canaveras, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least the shop makes for better lodging than some inn. What I meant was, what are you? What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it? Well, I'm from around here actually. We Kelits of the Star Icon fled when the Whirlwind troubles began, but I couldn't stand by while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came back. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I'm best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks like me Phantom Blades. A Phantom Blade? What's that? It's like a spiritualist but with a twist. It means that some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and doesn't take up space either, although, to be fair, it's not a pair of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors. The city is under attack by demons. Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. Then the guards came, everyone was running around, after that it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came along. If there are demons in Canaveras, we must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. And besides, the more the merrier. How did you end up in this shop? Gah, I've been here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from Pathfinders. But it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinders, so I've taken up residence here. Nehmen wir den Namen mit, oder? I swear I won't regret it. I can do all sort of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword? A spear? A bow? Just say the word. You now have a unique companion, Finian the Talking Weapon. You can access him through a special button in your inventory. Click on it to initiate dialogue with him or change his form to make him take the shape of any weapon before handing him to one of the characters in your party. There are no limitations to changing Finian's form. Finian will become more powerful as his personal story progresses. Okay. Ah, da, Finian. Naja, ich selbst werde ihn nicht in die Hand nehmen, das macht wenig Sinn, weil ich benutze meine Waffen eh fast nie. Er hat einen Wicked Longbow, was war das? +2, Critical Hit, Target must pass will or suffer a curse. Natürlich auch nicht schlecht. Sie hat bisher eigentlich nur einen Cold Iron Rapier. Checken wir mal kurz ihr Character Sheet. Rapier ist halt Weapon Proficiency für sie. Ja, dann schauen wir mal, ob der Finien zu einem Rapier werden kann. So läuft das nicht. Ah, da. Rapier. Reden wir ihn noch einmal an. Hail to the adventurers! You know, I've never regretted following you. Everyone seems to revolve around you like beavers in a mill wheel. I'll have a lot to write when I report to the Pathfinder Society. Although I think about it, it's been a while since I last sent them any reports. I want to talk about you. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. Although I haven't really done anything noteworthy yet. Do you realize that you are a weapon? What kind of question is that? I mean, sure, the clerics keep going on about every crusader being a weapon of Eomide, but I don't speak of myself in fancy words like that. I'm just a lad with 2 arms, 2 legs, and more fractals than I'd like. I choose where to go and whom to fight for. I don't want to be someone's weapon, you hear? Everyone is dead. Now everyone decides their own fate. What? Nö, du hast keine Hand. How did you become a Pathfinder? I've always wanted to be one. Ever since I was a kid. I remember I'd go out to the edge of village at sunset and then just keep walking until I got tired or someone dragged me back by my ear. It was like something was drawing me away from home. My clan wasn't the nomadic kind. Before the wound opened, the idea of traveling anywhere would never have crossed the minds of many in the clan. They were content with their community or their patch of land. But I had always wanted to see what lay beyond the bend in the road, over that familiar hill beyond the horizon. My father, he wanted to teach me to be a shaman like him, but as soon as I came of age, I was looking for the Pathfinder Society, and I found it, in Is. After 3 weeks of travel on foot, I passed their trials and they accepted me. My father hasn't spoken to me since, but that's alright. Once he hears of my great deeds, he'll come around. Someday. All I wanted was to rush off some faraway land and find treasure trove no one else had discovered yet. But I knew I had a duty to Sakoris. Then the wound opened, the demons, the havoc. In the end, I never went anywhere. But as soon as things calm down, I'm setting off to explore Asland. I've already decided. Great ancient ruins, that's my kind of life. Being surrounded by the wreckage here is depressing, as I'm sure you know. Do you remember anything from before you ended up in Conabres? I mean, a lot of things happened. I remember how happy everyone was when the Wardstone was placed in Conabres. That was some celebration. And I remember when the cultists took me. Cut down my whole body and dragged me to their ringleader. Don't know his name, everyone just called him the Bladesmith. But after that, my memory is all fuzzy. For some reason he didn't sacrifice me or anything, just knocked me around. Said he'd been looking for a phantom blade for a long time. I don't remember why. How I escaped, what I did, I can't remember that either. Some crusader picked me up in the wound, brought to Canabris. That's why I stayed licking my wounds. Maybe there was a mix-up and now they think I'm dead? Why else would none of them contact me this whole time? The Wardstone, you say? What you're describing happened decades ago. That's rich. Next you're going to tell me I've been sleeping for decades. Last year that was, maybe a year before last. I couldn't have been wandering the wound that long. I would have been either dead or an old geezer by now. Nah, quit messing with me. You're a fox sense of humor, my friend. Bin ja ein Fuchs. You're chuckling for once. Thought you'd play a joke on me? I've never met any fox folk before, but now I'll know to be on my guard around your kin. Finian, you need to understand, you are not human anymore. Hey, are you feeling alright? Maybe you need to have a lie down? I'm sitting right in front of you. Poke me if you like. As human as they come. Or do you think my travels have worn me down so much I've become an animal? Not happening. My folks taught me to stay human, always, no matter the circumstances. To remember who I am and never to shame my ancestors. I am still able to commune with spirit. To answer me. I'm still a spiritualist, a phantom blade. My power is within me. But I have this feeling like I'm separated from the spirit world by some kind of transparent wall. I keep knocking, but no one can hear me, I think. Guess all the bladesmith torture did a number on me. He broke something inside. I want to talk about something else. Go for it. It's always here. So, jetzt werde ich noch kurz vergleichen. Sie hat ihren Rapier demnach ja da, sag ich mal, erst einmal weggetan. Aber ja, Finian macht 2 bis 7, ihrer hat 1 bis 6 gemacht. Critical sind sie gleich. Das ist ein bades Cold Iron. Phineas ist halt noch Ghost Touch. Sie kann ja ihren Rapier da einfach da so rumschleppen. Some screws have been torn apart and some have been trodden on by muddy boots.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Demonic card. Okay. The polished oak shells once showcased magic rings and amulets. Now all that's left are grubby handprints of the robbers.
Godspeed.
I found something.
Antique armor were previously displayed on the stands. It's unlikely the new owners even know their true value. So, das ist wahrscheinlich der Golem. Ich werde zuerst fertig looten. Noch so ein Counter für Derek Sunhammers Jewelry, da habe ich schon eins. Oh, was haben wir da? A Pipe Fox Familia. Pipe Fox provides a +3 insight bonus on Knowledge Arcana and 2+ insight bonus on Perception skill checks.
I'm always open to ideas.
Oh, jetzt ein Bade. Dann haben wir da den und die Katze. Barrel Shell. Nehmen wir auch noch mit. The formerly well-appointed shop now looks a sorry state. It has been completely ransacked. Lying in the corner next to a scorched wall are the soot-covered shards of a clay golem's head. The golem's eye glow in the gloom. Master, Code Word. Hat mir das Codewort gesagt? Hand of Aurori. Codeword correct. The golem's eye glow brighter, awaiting orders. Tell me about any suspicious people who came to the shop in the last week. 56 individuals entered the shop. Human female, old. Gnome male, old. Human female. He'll be reading off customers till nightfall. We need to ask in a different way. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? Tieflings, free. Tiefling, male, middle-aged. Tiefling, male, young. Tiefling, female, young. Describe the young male tiefling. Tiefling, male, medium height, short horns curling backwards. Kann man schon einmal ausschließen. Medium length tail, eye color, yellow, hair color, black. Special observations, annoyed master. Horns, hair, tail, that sounds like me. But it's not possible. I know what the security is like here. I didn't come near the place. I give you my word, chief. No special observations. Subject was unremarkable. There, see? Can't have been me. Describe the middle-aged male tiefling. Tiefling, male, middle height, long horns, medium length veil, eye color, pale blue, skin color, dark, special observation, red hair. Ooh, that's our traitor. I bet they are alive on it. Charisma drilled it into our heads that we wasn't to go hanging about the shop. Red hair. I've got a couple of gingers and plenty more who get it out of a bottle. So much for a special observation. Golems ain't all they are cracked up to be, huh? Maybe it's masters no more? Describe the female tiefling. Tiefling female, above average height, hair long, pale, tail not observed, long horse, eye color, blue, special observations, scar nose, bardwick with gold stitching. I don't know that one. A new arrival most likely, gold stitching, eh? Wouldn't mind getting to know her a little better. Where did you come from? Who created you? This golem was created by Geffrin and Son. Address, third building on the right, Jewelers Alley, Nerosian. Mendev, model, G504ENE, which stands for Experimental and Enhanced. For all inquiries, contact Mr. Geffrain. Where is your master? Philomen Frulitras. My master is in his hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited. Prohibited. He likely holed himself up in the basement when the conversation started. The entrance should be around here somewhere. The basement is below me. I guard the basement. Leaving my post is prohibited. I found out everything I wanted to know.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
The basement.
I am helpful, am I not?
Da haben wir ihn, den Master. Philomen Frulitras. The elderly gnome, so portly as to be nearly spherical, is curled up in the corner of the basement, shaking. Marauders! Bandits! Scavengers! Yeah, makes sense. We're all those things and much more. Before I report us the authorities, mind if we have a chat? Please calm down. No one is going to rob you. Ist ja schon passiert, jetzt brauchen wir es nicht mehr tun. You do look better dressed than the local thieves and ragamuffins. You came here to tell me the nightmare is over? Not exactly. No, it's not. You're here to steal my riches. Get back. You, Wolchief, the dirty little sneak thief. You've been sniffing around my shop for years. Finally worked up the courage to rob me, did you? Get out of here. You and your powers have taken everything already, I'm sure. My name is Philomen Frulitras. I was the owner of this shop, but I'm sure I can claim to be owner of anything now. I hope there has been at least something left of it. Oh, come off it. Your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked maybe, but nothing a bit of spit and polish can fix. Where were you the night of the robbery? Do you think I robbed my own shop? I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look I'd left. The watch was very keen to get their hands on the thieflings. They seem to be multiplying all over Golarion. So of course then the golem wouldn't move away from the door no matter how much I yelled at it. But then I thought that it was too good. Somebody came after the guards and caused the ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the thieflings that have visited ancient recent wonders recently. Why should I tell you anything about my customers? You're not from the City Guard or the Eagle Watch. Chief, if he keeps digging his heels in, just say the word. I know how to loosen his tongue. So. Wir haben dort zwei Checks. Wir haben Bluff. I'm helping the Eagle Watch to catch the culprits. It's in your interest to tell me everything. Oder wir haben Intimidate. Reach for your weapon. Start talking. Or else. So, das ist ein 19er Check und die kriegt plus 11. Das ist ein 20er Check und die kriegt plus 11. Probier mein Einschüchtern. Succeeded. Alright, alright. Just put that away, I'll tell you everything. Ask your questions if it's so important. Tell me about World Chief. World Chief Jefto, right? Yes, I've known him a long time. Though I'd rather not know him at all. He's been skulking around my shop for years, treating the place like a free museum. He always wanted to look at the moon of the abyss. I'd chase him out, but he just slipped back in again. If he was with the gang that robbed my shop, I'll bet anything he swiped the moon. How come I'm the prime suspect? Whoever betrayed us all, that's the one who's got the moon. I want to see it return too, you get me? I don't like the idea of other people grabbing mitts on it. Tell me about the red-haired tiefling. A red-haired tiefling, I suppose, yes. There was one who came in, spent a long time looking around. He was a person of modest means, I could tell by his clothes, but he asked me to show him an Asima-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspected that something was off. I checked everything after I left, but nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember what he looked like. Didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember is that he was wrapped up in a green cloak like he was freezing, but that's all I have. That's it, with the description we'll surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief. Back to Sister Casimir. We're going to have a long, shifty at all my brothers and put all these clues together. Something tells me our traitor isn't gonna wriggle out of this one. Zuerst werden wir da noch jetzt über die Frau was in Erfahrung bringen, weil so eindeutig ist das irgendwie nicht bisher. A tiefling woman. Ah, yes. I remember now. A noble lady. Unlike the tiefling ruffians we have around here. She purchased magical equipment for the crusade, and she promised to come again. If only our tieflings were like that, I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. No. If that isn't enough to help you catch the thieves, then I don't know what else to tell you. Now be on your way and leave me in peace with the wreck of a shop. Ja, meine Güte, ein bisschen aufgeräumt gehört, aber so schlimm ist jetzt echt nicht. Und was der sich so anstellt. Gut, sie hat jetzt nicht wirklich einen Unterschied gemacht, dass sie da war. Mal kurz die Spellbooks abgleichen. So, sie hat... das Create Pit, den Acid Arrow, zweimal, 2w4, No Splash Damage und dann Poison Damage. Okay. Duration 1 round plus 1 round per 3 levels. Okay, da haben wir den Color Spray, Armor, eine Mist. Hätte man natürlich auch noch andere Auswahlmöglichkeiten. Und da hat sie eigentlich ganz cool die verschiedenen Elemente. Das ist nice. So. Gut. Ah, da will ich... Okay, da kann ich mal anschauen, was es sonst noch für Spells für sie gibt, oder was? Okay. Das da auf der Map werde ich wahrscheinlich von ihr das Spellbook anschauen können, weil ich wollte gerade nochmal schauen, was eben sie hat. Kann ich da jetzt durchschalten? Nö. Dann gehe ich jetzt so weiter. Ich mag da jetzt sind schon wieder 4 Stunden changen. Bleiben wir in der Konstellation. Aber wenn ich nicht weiß, wie viel Auswirkungen die 4 Stunden überhaupt haben. Vielleicht nicht wirklich was. Okay. Dann schauen wir mal, ob das was wert. Rote Rohr mit längere Hörner. Falls die länger sein. Falls es überhaupt wer von denen war. Das sonst noch wer? Karisma drums her fingers nervously on the handle of her blade. Well? Are you going to tell me who the traitor is? The name and the moon of the abyss that they stole? I don't need anything else. I met some tieflings from a gang. One of them got trapped trying to get into an underground passage. And what? We all made a pact, everyone for themselves. We'll meet up at the arranged time and place. If they were dumb enough to crawl into some hole in the ground, that's their lookout. I'm not their nanny. Okay. Schauen wir uns einmal die Suspects an. The tieflings are tense and ready to reach for their weapons. Their only redheads are Melrune and Doffy. The dark-skinned tieflings are Varnir, Doffy and Merun. Doffy, Merun, Tevi have straight horns, but Tevi is female. Only Varnir and Melrune have green cloaks. So, okay. The only redheads are Merun and Doffy. Dark-skinned. So, jetzt werden wir da noch einmal das Log checken. Green Cloak, ja. Und was hat der Golem gesagt? Tiefling Male, Medium Height, Long Horn, Medium Length, Skin Color Dark. Wenn wir davon ausgehen, dass der Tiefling wirklich davor im Shop drin war, dann passt Green Cloak, Red Hair und... Aber warte mal. Achso, na. Red Hair. Okay, Red Hair. Green Cloak. Sollte eh nur auf einen hinpassen. Und zwar, wir haben Maroon bei den Redheads. Darkskin haben wir Maroon. Und wir haben Green Cloak Maroon. Also werden wir jetzt einfach Maroon sagen. Der Traitor ist Maroon. You pay for this. Wordle and have Fatzimar. We'll get you in the end. Grab him. Take him away for questioning. Halbe Stunde später. Charisma looks weary, but her early attention is clearly lifted. He confessed. Someone connected to the cult of Pathfinder ordered him to steal the moon of the abyss, and the best idea he could come up with was drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem. He portrayed us to earwebs so that he could swipe the amulet in the chaos. He thought we'd get nicked and he'd slink off to meet up with his customer. Got the moon of the abyss? Let me look at it one more time. My whole life I've dreamt of holding it in my hands, if only for a second. He said when he got to the window display the moon was gone. He's lying, of course. He just had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it. Bloody cultists. I don't really give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of this. What are we going to do now? Clear out of this place. The sooner the better. The city is dying. I don't want to die with it. The city would have already died if not for people who stood up to defend it with weapons in their hand. So defend it. I'm not stopping you. It's your city. But we've always been outsiders here. Why would we fight for you now? What are you going to do to the trader? He'll be sent to visit his distant relatives on their farm to think about what he did. Any more questions? Ich mag der Family, glaube ich, nicht unbedingt beitreten. Ich meine, es seien Diebe und ich habe jetzt kein Problem, einen Dieb in meiner Party zu haben, aber ich selbst will keiner sein. Ganz ehrlich. I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Carries me turns to leave. Sister! You forgot something. What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology. You promised to apologize to me. Loudly, in front of everyone. We're alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well? Ah, that. So sorry, I suppose, for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time that cancel out the rest of your record. I know all about you. Till next time, War Chief. Most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Failed. Too bad, because that's all I got. Ein Dreier-Roll. Kann nichts machen. Better than nothing. Listen, Chief. When you've got a spare minute, come to see me. I have something I want to discuss with you. But for now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above is ready to crash down on our heads. Wir dann wahrscheinlich zurück in die Taverne, dort mit ihm reden. Talk to Staunton, talk to War Chief. Okay, passt, dann werden wir mit den Paden reden. Mit Staunton reden, War Chief reden und ein Buch lesen. Yes, enter. So, da sollte ich jetzt aber endlich doch irgendwie von alle das Spellbook. Ach, vielleicht muss ich in die Taverne eine. Dir auch einen schönen guten Abend, Joe. Ich hoffe, du hattest ein entspanntes Wochenende. Und es geht dir gut. So. Spellbook, finally. Bin so unentschlossen, ob ich sie oder sie als weiteren Mage mitnehme. Bei ihr ist halt cool, dass es egal ist, so sie hat halt einfach alle D-Spells für die Users. Dafür hat sie viel weniger Spells zur Auswahl. Und im Ansatz als Damage eigentlich nur die Burning Hands, die manchmal echt schwer einzusetzen sind. Wobei, na, ihr Piercing Stream macht auch Damage, aber nur AW6. Bei AW6, okay, ist mehr. Ja, passt schon. Burning Hands macht AW, ja doch, passt. Und im Zwara hat sie dabei nur ein Heal. Aber ich glaube, dann werde ich die Witch mitnehmen. So, Wohlchief reden. Staunton reden. Wo der immer unterwegs ist. Da ist einmal der Wohlchief.
Psst, look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
So, he makes a subtle gesture and an amulet chain appears in his hand. A silver amulet in the shape of a waning moon with a dark crystal in the middle. The Moon of the Abyss. Also hat er es doch geklaut. Hat der Junge mir abgelogen, oder was? Ich sehe gerade etwas, was mir dann gefällt. Moment. will da kein Rand auf der Seite, wo man das Game durchsieht. Das stört mich irgendwie. Kleinlich, ich weiß. So, hat der Junge das Amulett geklaut, obwohl er gerade allen versichert hat, er hätte es nicht getan. So, you did betray the thieflings?
That cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over. But only because I want to see the world. Is it a crime to want to travel? Huh? Is that what counts for treachery these days?
You've been searched by guards. How did you manage to hide the amulet?
Thieves have their ways.
Did you really have the amulet this whole time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Remind me, why is this item so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss, an amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
Why did you steal the Moon of the Abyss? You wouldn't have been able to sell an item so rare anyway.
Why, he asks? It's expensive, pretty. And you know, it's my amulet actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it.
Okay.
She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My mom was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. But she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders.
Oh man.
I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid. He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garen, I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
Also wenn die Story stimmt, dann würde ich mal sagen, hat er einen guten Grund gehabt, das zu klauen. Gewissermaßen. Also, wenn's die Großmutter versetzt hat, hat sie es versetzt, aber immerhin. Die Stadt geht sowieso gerade vor die Hunde, meine Güte. Angenehmer für dich, wenn du nicht so viel vorlesen musst. Ach, so will ich es gar nicht sagen. Ich meine, natürlich bleibt der Mund dann etwas befeuchteter, aber ich mag das Voice Acting. So. Schon gut eingesprochen. So, was haben wir da? Risking everything for some shiny trinket. Na, das sehe ich nicht. You deceived the people who considered you a friend. That's not the way you treat your friends. Atone for your crimes by serving the crusade. You did the right thing by not giving away the emerald. Stealing from thieves isn't even stealing. You have to put it yourselves first. Aber ja. Sei mal lawful. Atone for your crimes by serving the crusade.
If I serve anybody, it should be you. And only because I owe you. I don't care if the whole of Canabras drops into the abyss. I don't trust all these crusaders or Galfrey. They just take people's money to spend on crusades, but what's the point? If anyone calls me a crusader, I'll spit in their face just so you know. Even if it's you, Chief.
Chill. Meine
Whatever you
Güte.
think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief. I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family. And well, I mean, we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables.
Okay.
So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
Of course. Show me what you can get using your Thiefling connections. Schauen wir gleich mal. Look, Chief, the Thieflings have all the best things. Einen magischen Quarter-Stuff mit Competence Bonus to AC. Ah ja genau, so. Kiri, das kann verkauft werden. This Lockpick Kit grants its owner a +1 bonus on all trickery skill checks. Muss man wahrscheinlich equippen, oder? So, da unten kann man das wegtun. Ich glaube, sonst habe ich gerade nicht wirklich... Na gut, den Goldring kann man noch verkaufen. So. Gut, also die haben ein paar magische Waffen. Eine Zauberstäbe mit Charges, genau. Star Knife, okay, das wäre... Da steht Melee. Ich hätte jetzt auf Wurfwaffen gedacht. Lockpicks. Es ist jetzt nichts Überragendes dabei, wenn ich so drüber schaue. Aber was man kaufen kann, kann man kaufen. Genau, so. Lockpicken tut derzeit erstaunlicherweise nach wie vor, glaube ich, sie. Wohin equipt sie das jetzt? Ah, okay. Unten Quickslot. Passt. Dann machen wir das so. Und jetzt gibt es da noch irgendwo diesen... Ich glaube, mit dem Staunton müssen wir noch reden. Das so kassen. Wer ist denn der Healer? Hat der was zu sagen? Ah ja. Greetings, I am Healer, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. I am the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendev. However, the society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone without the support of the society. But I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, talk to me. Do you know anything about a Pathfinder named Finian Dismar? Falls das irgendwer nicht mitgekriegt hat, der Finian Dismar ist jemand, den ich vorher gefunden habe, und zwar ist das irgend so eine komische sprechende Waffe, die sich in jede Art von Waffen verwandeln kann. Also wenn du einen Zweihander brauchst, dann verwandelst du in einen Zweihander, wenn du einen Bogen brauchst, machst du ihn zu einem Bogen, whatever halt. Der sagt von sich selber, dass er ein Pathfinder ist und glaubt, dass er immer noch ein Mensch ist. Er ist aber eigentlich eine sprechende Waffe. Let me think. Disma. I've definitely heard the name before. Of course you have. I'm a Pathfinder too. So now you're the commander in these lands? What about Lady Auriri? When I left to the wound, she had just taken up the position. I'm afraid Auriri perished during the Third Crusade. Yes, now I remember. Finny and Disma went visiting in the wound at the end of the Second Crusade. His name has been on the list of the Fallen for a while. Here I am, alive and well. Write in your list that I'm back, and soon I'll file a detailed report about everything that happened to me. I knew it was a misunderstanding, but now everything will return to normal. I need to write to my folks, they probably think I'm dead too. Poor lad, but such is the fate of a Pathfinder. We face the unknown, but sometimes the unknown wins, and our mind cannot take it. Tell me about your confrontation with the spin-off nightmares. It all began with a task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Nerosian with my team to investigate the sudden death of a famous crusader, Baron Felron. We soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, where Felron was being treated shortly before his death. It turned out that a gang of Baphomet's cultists, calling themselves the Labyrinth of Mind, had gotten a foothold in the hospital. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims and targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless, and when they returned they were different, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed into servants of Baphomet, ready to lie, betray, and even kill. The Labyrinth of Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the elite circles in Mendev, but Baron Felron stopped them. He was too loyal to his oath and too resistant to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. We opened and cleaned the city of Baphomet's pit of vipers. That end was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from their minds into the world. They dreamt of horrible and forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could. But the leaders of the cult were able to flee, and they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter Luri, who served under my command in the Pathfinder Society. They left me a note full of tart insults, mockery and sneers. From that note I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later I confirmed that she was the leader of the Labyrinth of Mind. My hunt had begun. I would get Lori back at any cost. Okay. My companions and I need good training. I will get a great mentor from Absalom for the first few times. He'll train your fighters free of charge. Okay, was passiert da jetzt an? New character. What the hell? Close will reset the choices you made during the character creation. Close the interface, yes. What the hell? Ach so, was? Warte mal. To retrain. Ich kann nur einen Charakter komplett neu erstellen dann. Also so, nö, ich will doch nicht mehr Fuchs sein, sondern lieber was anderes. Oder wer braucht schon sie, macht man neu, oder was? I need brave and experienced fighters. You can rely on my lads, but you'll have to pay them. 8,000 is the standard rate. Ich will es jetzt ehrlich gesagt nicht probieren, aber... Weißt was? Mich interessiert's. Genau, für Gold kann man sich scheinbar eine Truppe zusammenstellen. Ich mach das jetzt einfach mal kurz, sag, whatever. Ah, okay. Bei den anderen kannst du nur die Klasse wechseln, scheinbar. Aber auch interessant. Geht der dann jetzt Level 4 in eine andere Klasse über, oder was? Ich hab gespeichert. Whatever, einfach irgendwas, ich lade danach so oder so das Game wieder. Oder geht er da jetzt dann Level 1 eine? Ah, es ist jetzt an Level 4. Ja. Na, er ist immer noch Oracle? Ah! Okay. Level 3 Oracle und Level 1 in das, was ich jetzt an ausgewählt habe. Also das aktuelle Level switcht dann scheinbar zu was anderem. Und ab dann kannst du halt dort weiter leveln. Was komisch ist. Beziehungsweise. Sag mal. So, jetzt nehmen wir mal an, ich nehme sie. Und sage halt, ja, sie soll eh Witch bleiben, aber ich hab eigentlich das lieber gewesen. Dafür ist es, sage ich einmal, ja, du kannst halt einfach das aktuelle Level noch einmal ändern. Das finde ich interessant und sehr großzügig vom Game. Gut zu wissen, dass es geht. Ich hab's nicht vor einzusetzen, aber well, you never know. Vielleicht brauchen wir es irgendwann. So, jetzt solltest du wieder ganz normal Oracle Level 4 sein. Perfekt. Ich glaube, das da unten könnte draußen sein. Schauen wir mal. Da oben ist auf jeden Fall irgendwo wer rumgestanden. Okay, das ist der Ramian. Das ist der Wayne. Wo geht dann jetzt hin? What the hell? Ich habe auf den Keller geklickt. Delven, von dem will ich auch nix. Und ich weiß ja immer noch nicht, wofür diese... Oder, ne, okay, die Hebel werden für den Schalter da sein, aber... Vielleicht weiß ja da der Barkeeper was. Who are you? German Hawks. Vampire. What? Are you really a vampire? No. What? How did you enter? How did you or them? The world is big, but still isn't the place for everyone. People who no longer have a life anywhere else, they end up here. Any news in the city? There are demons everywhere, and you showed up. I see you are not one for talking. Are there any places in the city worth visiting? If you mean places that normal people usually stay well away from, then there are plenty. Like the Pitaxian wine cellar. It once belonged to a Pitaxian trading house. Then King Iroveti came to power in Pitax and property started changing hands. Soon after, the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of him. Mind just his head. Numerian gangsters had taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up on the gallows. Then King Iroveti's number was up, so now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say that a headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulishly. Oh. Ein Geisterweinkeller. I have to go. So, wer ist das? Chernoff. A young woman well-worn traveling clothes and simple wooden symbol of Erastil on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen rope into strips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm chestnut-colored eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us whose talents lie off the battlefield. I'm Chernoff, servant of Erastil. Pleased to meet you. Ah, cleric. I could use the help of a cleric. Okay. Oh! Once we're at Canaris, we're going to Chili Creek. Dann... So, I could use help of a cleric. Erastil knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted and I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this rope I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to last one. It was a pleasure to meet you. It's a pity we can't stop and talk over a cup of tea, or maybe something stronger. But this isn't the time. Do you know what's funny? I was only supposed to be making a short stop in Canaris. I was sailing down Old Man's Cellar on a boat bound for a small village by the name of Chili Creek. Mit wem soll ich da jetzt eigentlich reden? Completed quests ausblenden. Show Irabeth the dispatch. Achso, das habe ich gemacht. Okay. Burning City, talk to Staunton. Den suche ich, den Staunton. Der muss ja da irgendwo sein, oder? Staunton!
Our path leads on.
Da ist er. Versteckt sich im Eck. The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel on whose high climbing walls are still holding fast, but whose empty lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead. Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the Grey Garrison. Name's Staunton Wayne. Have you heard rumors about me? His face looks like it has never known anything carefree as a smile grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me, it's true. I need to talk to the elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? The Storyteller? A strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours asking all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort, he just listened. At first, I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible, but later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he is alive and well. He is completely blind and feeble too, so if he is alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Blackwings. It's a library here. I'll show you where it's on the map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. Na dann, auf zu dieser Library. Go on then, maybe we'll see each other again. Oder wenn eine andere Location näher ist, dann ist auf Sidequest Location, dann machen wir zuerst vielleicht auch mal schauen, was auf der Map so los ist. So. Dann switchen wir da wieder rum, dass wir sie mit haben. Ja gut. Die Library ist location technisch nicht so weit weg, aber du musst halt durch die ganze... Das ist ein ziemlicher Umweg, sagen wir es so. Da auf Astrod wäre auch eine Möglichkeit. Aber nimm mal die Library. 4 Stunden. Enemies. Okay, nicht direkt in Combat. What the hell? Ich sag ganz ehrlich, ich muss mir jetzt nicht mit denen anlegen, wenn die nicht wollen, gell? Hanged cultist. A corpse wearing the robe of a worshipper of the Skari hangs from a signpost. It's been here for a while, but the bag on his bed remains undamaged. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Mach mal. Flower, crooked paw, elemental essence, meteor dust. Alles mitnehmen. Und weiter zur Library. Lost bag. A bag with a torn strap lies on the ground. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Nehmen wir noch mit. Alles looten. Either a mouse butter for a mushroom fork tongue. Angekommen. Okay. Näher mal im besten Zustand. Die Bibliothek.
That is quite a discovery.
The great library of Canaris has been ravaged and wrecked in the most barbaric way. It seems that someone took perverse pleasure in smashing lamps and furniture and tearing pages out of books. Die armen Bücher. Das Karma lässt die gleich da, das brauche ich nicht. Verbrennen die da Bücher? Barrel of flammable alchemical substance. Na, oh Gott. Alter, what? Die verbrennen nicht nur Bücher. Was ist denn da los? Ich stehe ein bisschen arg weit vorn. Jalab, a stocky knight with head of messy black hair stands before you. His armor is spattered with blood. He greets you with a deep, booming voice. The hefty crusader smiles merrily, paying no heed to the blood-curdling shrieks coming from the pyre, and the acrid smell of burning flesh. They burn well enough, don't they? Cursed traitors, Aurelius minions. These vermin infiltrated the crusader forces and aided the demons from inside the city. But I caught them. I am Captain Jalab Sasumal, and these men are my subordinates. A strange feeling rises up within you. It is pure instinct. You don't know what you are about to do, but you are certain that it is right. Wir können da einen Perception-Check machen. Wir brauchen ein 17 kriegen plus 11. Oder ein Lore Religion. Examine the Crusader's armor and the symbols on it. Das ist 15 plus 9. In beiden Fällen muss sie 6 oder mehr würfeln. Dann machen wir mal den Religion-Check einfach. Failed. Damn it. After careful studying Crusaders' armor, you can say with certainty that they aren't fakes. These men are real Crusaders. Hat 2 gewürfelt. Okay, vielleicht Perception? Succeeded. Jalab is talking too loudly, all while casting sidelong looks at you. You have seen similar behavioral quirks before. In liars. Chaotic requires trickster mythic pass. Give in to the strange instinct. Put out those flames, I order you in the name of Baphomet. Zieh irgendwas durch. The words fly out of your mouth before you can even think of them. Some gut instinct told you that is precisely what needs to be said in this moment, and the words hit their target. The Crusaders jump in surprise and look at each other in terror. Didn't you know, mortal? We're everywhere. Sir, we didn't know you were one of us. We heard him. Put the flames out. Cuffing his legs around the head, Jalab herds them straight toward the fire, showing no concern for their own safety. An inexplicable feeling of rightness flows through you. You enjoy seeing the look of official on the faces of the Crusader and his lackeys when you rebuke them for their fecklessness. You blithering idiots! You cack-handed dimwits! You empty suits of armor! Quickly, you worms! If you keep dawdling, I'll throw into the furnace at the Grey Garrison. Whoever doesn't pull his weight is a dead man. I'll take the other 2 in Baphomet's forces. Sollen sich einmal beeilen. Quickly, you worms! If you keep dawdling, I'll throw into the furnace at the Grey Garrison. Jalab grunts in wordless terror and desperately fights the flames. Every so often he sends murderous looks at his associates, whom he has clearly already condemned to death. You blithering idiots! You cack-handed dimwits! You empty suits of armor! You watch in satisfaction at Jalab and his two lackeys rush to put out the alchemist's fire. Their armor becomes covered in soot, and welts rise from their skin from flames. Succumbing to another strange oratorical impulse, you chiv them along with barked orders and florid invective. Whoever doesn't pull his weight is a dead man. I'll take the other 2 into Baphomet's forces. With a weary look in your direction, Jalab abandons his own attempts to quell the flames and turns his focus on thumping and kicking its subordinates to hurry them along. The methods prove surprisingly effective, and the flames begin to dwindle. Report, who are you? Oder wir haben Evil. This one on the left isn't pulling his weight. With no room for sluggards. Jalab, deal with him. Das will ich eher vermeiden. Jalab is a Crusader name. Are you a Crusader? I hereby give you a name worthy of a demon. Foul snout. But listen to your gut. Stop wasting valuable fuel. If you like burning books, go rig the Grey Garrison library. Our enemies might try to sneak in here. Step to it. Vertrau mal aufs Bauchgefühl. There's plenty more where that came from, sir. I'll do everything you've ordered, and just as soon as those Crusaders arrive, they'll be dead meat. I can make sure that we get making another 2 pairs of alchemist's fire from the Grey Garrison storeroom. Things are going to burn right up in there. Da ist der Storyteller, die wollten ihn abfackeln. Storyteller, a blind elf stands before you. He looks extremely strange. His face weary, it sears heavily, which is unusual for members of his race. Thinning grey hair, erect beards, Sightless, milky eyes, pale, papery skin, covered in age spots, a spine curved by the passage of time. This is not how elves typically age. The youth that graces the faces of elves even on their deathbed has totally abandoned this decrepit specimen. That is an elf, with a beard. I guess the worst can be found even among the best. The old elf holds out his hand in your direction in the perennial gesture of the blind, greeting you with an unexpectedly strong and calm voice. Hello, I am Storyteller, and I wish to thank my rescuers. That is you, if I'm not mistaken. Storyteller? Ha! That's the first I've heard of a venerable old-timer like that having a street name. Sometimes a person can lose their name. But Mama and Papa are gone, friends are gone, and there is nobody to ask what it was. So instead of the name, a person can pick any word that is good. Everybody has to have a name. Or do they? I don't know. How come you didn't burn in the fire? To tell the truth, I myself do not know. I felt the heat, it was so strong. I waited for the pain, the burning, but I was unscathed. But the smoke nearly did finish me off. It may be some form of magical protection against fire, but I don't know by what means. I may have acquired it, just another oddity from a collection of the inexplicable. Gloom steers across the storyteller's pensive face. Who are you? The old elf frowns. I prefer people to call me Storyteller. It's very accurately describes the sphere of my occupations and interests. In most of the places I have been, I'm known by that name. When I was little, my mother and father used to tell me stories, but I have no one to tell me stories now. Sometimes grandma does in my dreams, but I always forget them in the morning. Can you tell me a story? The corners of the blind elf's mouth slowly creep upward. For you, I may have a story to tell, but perhaps it is you who has a story for me. I want to talk to you about something. The old elf responds with dignity and courtesy, but firmly. In thanks for my rescue, I, of course, will render you a service in turn, whatever it may be. However, at this moment I wish to be somewhere safer than the present surroundings. My recent adventures have fatigued me greatly. I would be grateful if you could help me to a safe shelter of some kind. The stubborn set of the elf's mouth tells you that he won't change his mind. Typical. You do someone a good turn and instead of saying thank you, they just ask for more help. Go easy on the old elf, he's had a rough go of it. Yeah, because we've had it so easy. We can't not help him. If it was up to me, Grandfather Elf, I'd throw you over my shoulder and carry you out of here. This is no place for old folks. I'm taking you to the Defender's Heart. Please accept my sincere thanks once again. And if I may, please don't rush. I will struggle to keep up with your young legs. Wir werden uns zuerst noch da umschauen. Full Plate, kann man gut verkaufen. Masterwork Heavy Crossbow, why not? Cooled Iron Masterwork Heavy Mace, nehmen wir mit.
I was successful in my search.
The bookcase is full of texts describing demons and methods of fighting them. Regrettably, all this knowledge wasn't enough to save Canaverus from the spawn of the Abyss. How to make money during the war against demons. Okay.
Can't hide from me.
Digga, kann man da lassen.
Did I fail?
Yo, you failed. The enormous black rift cuts the library in half. It goes so deep that one can only wonder who could have possibly wreaked such destruction and how. Schade eigentlich, aber kann man nicht ändern. Da war wahrscheinlich die andere Magierin besser gewesen für den Check. Dann gehen wir noch in die Richtung over. Da liegt auch noch Zeugs. Oh, magischer Armor. Sehr nice. So, wir haben ein Padded Armor Focus. Das Padded Armor grants etwa +2 Bonus on Concentration Checks. Sie tragt doch Light Armor, oder? Ja. Er kann ihn eh nicht tragen. Er auch nicht, sie nicht. Ja dann, perfekt für sie. Gut, dann schaut so aus, als hätten wir da alles. So, das heißt, der wird jetzt da irgendwo sein. Da sitzt er. Gerade noch das Zeug weggeben. So viele Bücher, die noch zum Lesen sein. The blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some color. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my savior? I recognized your footsteps, determined footsteps befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. Bin schon gespannt, was der macht. Earweth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Canaris that the local Watson had been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I have examined many wardstones, but only in the one guarding Canaris did I sense a flaw. A spot of corruption inside, a vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. Who are you and why did they let you examine the wardstone? The elf smiles faintly. I am the storyteller. Just an old elf. And a bit more. I am old even for an elf. I've seen many things and I've been to many places. Not so long ago I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the Stone Lands, led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. This is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt anyone, stayed out of other squabbers, but sometimes gave good advice. I've had a few friends in Neo-Return who vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request to be allowed to see the wardstone was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Canabras. Think? Yes, to a certain extent, but this is more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shred of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions and tragedies. I see visions like I am them and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the wardstone? I am afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created, and that is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers and started to do what demons do best: kill and desecrate. They say they covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of Iomede herself? The locals think this is impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, even the terrifying Baylor Koramzadeh. Ja, müsste halbwegs passen. The attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but the Skyrim self has now come to take advantage of this weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Canabras. And when the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it is in demon hands, nothing is stopping them from spraying the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it to the other stones along the perimeter of the world wound. Why did you travel to the ward stones? I tried to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. I have heard you, storyteller. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Canabras, but the demons might have something. I heard the dying roar of Terendelev, the silver dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go where Terendelev perished and search there for something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but the intuition and strange sense of rightness tell me to the point you there. Present the purple stone knife. I found it in the square where Terendelev perished. What do you make of it? The star reaches out and says softly, even from here I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it. Using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions and shreds of their memories. Maybe it will help us better understand what we are dealing with. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face conforts into an evil grimace, his voice distinguishably raspy. Hunger. My many legs bring me into the lair to my mother's feasting hall. Her swollen body overfilled with food is so huge that I have to look at it with all of my eyes at once. On top is her scrawny little head with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. You feel feverish and your chest where the mysterious wound is concealed feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions, visions that repeat the word of the old elf. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A creeping wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings. A symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters, the bones burst and my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victory! I am the strongest. I am son of winged father. The elf grimaces with disdain, his voice becomes normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the wardstone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the wardstone drags your attention. It looks like a butterfly, corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless, but it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with the knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light, white light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old elf's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He is trembling, the terror on his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. That was something that is yet to happen. Or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you cleanse the ward stone. Or to destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into a chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It is hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment your self-preservation instinct takes over, and you manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me. But how? I am not an oracle or a prophet. Or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing. But seeing stories that are yet to happen, I don't know why this is happening now, but there is one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes. Great changes. I shared your vision, and this knife tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it, or perhaps something else happened to us. Something we don't yet. Maybe it's the knife that gives you the power of divination? This knife is of a different nature. No, I felt the same as I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but manifested in a completely abnormal way. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The future never opened its secret to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have our paths crossed? I fear this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something. But what? Questions without answers. I swear this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Is what you saw destined to happen? No. The future is not set. It used to be a long time ago when the god Erodin guarded Golarion. But not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, one of the paths leading to it, but the choice has not been made, and our destinies are not set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Your powers are amazing. A few minutes ago I would have agreed with you, but a thing that just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell us a story. Let me touch them and I'll tell you what I can see. The old elf carefully takes Yaniel's sword Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword. It used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. The starter's hand runs carefully over the scale that still has not lost its shine. Proud Terendelev, protector of Canabras. You devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss, but maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to our many admirers? The starter hand touches Finian. What a peculiar weapon. I sense intelligence in it, but it seems dented. Grandpa Elf watched while poking a finger as it tickles. The star fills with a fragment of an old gold buckler, an old thing created long ago by divine will, but the power that gave birth to it is lost in the darkness. However, the relic still lives on. Though it has changed, I wonder what secret it is hiding. Would you like to know it? Bring me 5 vials of magic essence and I will revive this object, and with it, its story. Shall we? Shall we? I guess. Aber zuerst müssen wir was zum Trinken holen und da die Rollo aufhören. Bin in Kürze wieder da. So. Weitere Stories vom Storyteller. Present the stone knife. Tell me about its previous owner. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice distinguishedly raspy. Hunger. Warte mal. Da, das haben wir schon. Das haben wir schon gehabt. So. Radiance. What do you see in its past? The storyteller touches the blade with his fingers. Sadness rings in his voice. Dresden is doomed. Demons attacked right when we lost the protection of the Sword of Valor. My city, my bastion of hope. We built you as a symbol that lands mutilated by the abyss could still be restored to mortals. Now you are perishing, and there's nothing I can do. We retreat. No, we flee. Night through the southern gate. They are chased by the angry howls of demons, killing the last defenders of the city there. My heart goes out to them, but I'm standing still on the wall. I am covering the retreat. Demons do not attack. They sieve around you, fall from the sky, strike from all sides at once. They can't be stopped, but they can be the gate tower. Radiance glows with a golden light in my hands. I permit myself to close my eyes for just one heartbeat. I imagine that the soft glimmering of the sword I see through my closed eyelids is the light of the summer sun. I smile. I open my eyes and call out, "Hey, the Scurry spawn! Who wants the best trophy of the night? You know my name. Yaniel, you know how many of you I have killed with this very hand. You want to curry favor with Darasant, Minhago, or the echo of your lord? Bring them my head if you can. Roaring and screaming, they rush toward me in a wave of deformed bodies and unfurled wings. The wave crashes against me, spattering my armor with bloody froth. Broken wings and chopped up bodies plummet to the foot of the tower. In the heat of battle, I see Joran's pale face down there. He looks up at me in desperation, but he can't help. He's carrying 2 wounded on his shoulders. My city will fall, but my friends will survive. This is what I'm fighting for. I am covering the retreat. The flow of fleeing people gradually dwindles. My armor is broken in many places and I cannot heal my wounds anymore. The last demon I stabbed with radiance suddenly recoils, tearing the handle out of my blood-slicked hand. He flies up but falls somewhere far behind the walls, by the road being taken by those fleeing. No more golden glow in my hands. The night closes in on me, filled with shrieking, mocking demon laughter. Dressen, I am dying with you. Light of the sword, righteous Iomede, accept my soul. The storyteller runs his hand along the blade with a sad smile. I know whose memory this is. I've heard about her so many times. Yaniel was a true crusader. Touching her memories is so cleansing. Do you see the future of the sword? Just one of the numerous possibilities. The bland elf touches the sword hilt and metal rings in his voice. I slide out of the sheath swiftly. I proudly watch the army of warriors led by my lord. I sing, slashing the air, putting courage in their hearts. I am Radiance, Trumber, city of Dressen. My lady Yaniel has perished, but I am not done yet. Charge! It's nice to know that the sword's glory days are not over. It has many battles ahead. Take care of it. It's a glorious sword. Show Tyrandalef's scale to the storyteller. Tell me about Tyrandalef. The storyteller takes a deep breath and smiles. I am flying. I can finally spread my wings. I am gliding over a broad river. The sunset has turned its surface smooth like a mirror, and I see my reflection. It is if another silver dragon is rising to meet me from the depths. But what is it? The scales on my chest are black and the darkness is spreading over my body. I wake up. A clear sky sways above me, blazing with heat. I am in human form. The red dust of the wounds cling to my cracked lips. Someone is carrying me on a stretcher made of shields and spears. I am so weak I can barely lift my hand to my face. The sight of my own hand terrifies me. It is black and the skin glistens like scales melted by fire. I probably ought to cry, but I only feel hatred and nausea. All these people around me, out of sympathy for them, did I choose to leave the mountains? I gave up my flights over rivers. I went to Demon's Lair. They don't have a scratch on them, but I'm infected with foulness. It's not fair. My life is more precious than their pathetic existence. Oh, how I hate them in this moment. And then I suddenly feel shame. No, these are not my thoughts. The crusaders carrying me are my good friends. I'm glad they did not suffer, but I hate them and myself so much. Pain and hatred pierce me all at once. It's all because of them, all because of them. Someone walking beside me touches me, talks to me, but the only thing I hear is, your mentor, he will come, he will help, and I lose consciousness. The storyteller takes a deep breath, exiting the vision. Such hatred from Tyrandalef? Wasn't she on our side? Tyrandalef has come a long way. Her unit was ambushed by demons once, and she was infected with foulness. The Tyrandalef you met in Canaris had gone through many trials and regained her former purity. What happened next? The sir puts his hand on his forehead. Sometimes the past can be as vague as the future. We all know how Tyrandalef's story ended, but the beginning is hidden from us. Maybe if we find something else that used to belong to her, we will know more about her struggle. Show Finian, tell me what you see. Hello, Grandpa Elf. The story carefully takes Finian from your hands. Hello, Finian. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. His face contorts into a painful grimace. I'm coming to again. How long have I been here? They kept me in a cage for 3 days. I know this because 3 times the light under the door disappeared for a long time. Then they changed me to the table and the bladesmith, everyone calls him the bladesmith, he placed a device with a jar over me. It feels like I'm being fried. At first I tried to break free, but I got tired. Then I screamed, but now I've lost my voice. Though the pain is burning right through me, the storyteller stops, his voice changing, becoming more frightened. I think I lost consciousness again, but when I woke up the pain was gone. And I wasn't tied to the table anymore. I was standing near it, and someone else was lying on the table, a burned corpse covered with a black crust. The master took out a handsaw and was sawing off his head, in a very focused way. I should have run back then, but I couldn't for some reason. This burned corpse has a symbol on his belt, just like I do. An eye and a star. My favorite bird. A good one. Where would the stranger get one? It must have been someone from my clan, some distant family member. The storyteller stops. When he speaks again, you hear only a muffled whisper. Those crusaders. I was glad when I saw them. I thought they'd come to help, but how? How was it that I killed them all? Someone told me to, and I obeyed. I don't understand. I understand nothing now. I need to catch my breath. I need all this to stop, even just for a minute. I just have to understand what's happening to me. Just need to rest. The storyteller shakes his head, slowly coming to his senses. That's Finian's past, but what awaits him in the future? The dead have no future, but I see an endless ocean on a good day and a boat flying over the waves. I'm so excited, but I don't know whose vision this is. Is this a soul existing here and now, or a soul reborn? Thank you for your story. The storyteller gives Finian back to you. Please take care of this young lad. He is finally in the right hands. Do not worsen his suffering by involving him in dishonorable deeds. Come on, Grandpa, if I can take care of myself, I'm not a kid. I don't know what horrors you were talking about, but I don't worry about it, alright? Look after yourself. Ich schätze mal, rot heißt, ich habe nicht genug Mats, aber ich drück mal drauf. Okay, ich kann nicht drauf drücken. We have more important things to do. Return with new stories. I'll be waiting. Can I help you? Storyteller nods gratefully. I appreciate your offer. I have reason to believe that somewhere in Canabres there is a manuscript authored by an elf from Kyonin who witnessed Earthfall. The storyteller's voice suddenly breaks and he stops for a moment. For personal reasons I would like to examine it, but no matter how hard I try I fail to find it. Even at Blackwing Library I only found mention that the manuscript exists and is held somewhere in the city. I assume it's stored at the Grey Garrison. They wouldn't let me into the archives when I visited. All the Crusaders were nervous about the strange blind elf interest in their secrets. It's understandable. The Crusade naturally made them a little paranoid, but now the Grey Garrison has fallen into the enemy's hands. I would be grateful if I could see the manuscript. So, was haben wir da mit einer Page? I found a page that might interest you. The storyteller carefully takes the page from your hands. His fingers touch the ancient letters gently, examining them lightly, following their lines. I see myself. Young, energetic, able to see. Oh gods, have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn. The wrinkles on his face soften. Thank you, Sirda. And please follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. The storyteller inhales sharply a few times and begins his story. They are leaving. The people of Kyonin faced the coming Earthfall and admitted they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages and skilled healers. All of them hurried to the gate of Sovarian, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for Golarion. I am ashamed. And I'm sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of the catastrophe. But my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree bark cover, in case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watch the gate of the Sovarian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about traveling between worlds, in case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shouldered voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart and find my way to Sovarian. That will never happen, my mouth said stubbornly. I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I use my forced pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. Why did the elves decide to flee and not fight? They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. So was genau ist Earthfall? Earthfall is the name given to the cataclysmic event in which a shower of meteorites impacted Golarion in 5293. It resulted in the destruction of the human empires of Thessalian and Asland, which were consumed by earthquakes and massive tidal waves, and the creation of the Inner Sea. The cloud of dust thrown up by Earth's full impact settled in Golarion's upper atmosphere and blotted out the sun for 1000 years, creating the Age of Darkness. Okay. Your mentor is a mage? Then you must be too, yes? Yes, I am an archmage. And this title is well deserved. I have acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many areas of magic. But curiosity has always pushed me toward new knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. What is the Sovarian stone? A magnificent crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator, or a great gate to other worlds. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. Why are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent many hundreds of years in Kyonin. I've always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was our home. But the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. But I loved Golarion, all its places, all the forms of its manifests in. I traveled widely and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels. But they weren't interested, they only cared about Kyonin. The lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. What happened next? Earthfall happened at night. I'm standing at the top of my tower, many miles to the north of Kyonin, and I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble, the air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock, rushing down on my world, and then a blow. Vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down into the bowels of Golarion and up to the walls of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels filling my eyes with darkness. Drowning in timelessness along with countless so united in our feelings. When I come round, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind! But no. Little by little, I begin to see stone wall. I'm alive. But why is it so dark? The answer is quick. The smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Asland. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon, dooming us to dusk at day and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall, proudly, like the last Archmage of Kyonin should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I am still alive and I can find Earthfall and the darkness, not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I will hardly be able to save empires from destruction. But what can I do? I am but one archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. Man, wir haben zwar gerade vorher gelesen, was Earthfall ist, aber fragen wir ihn einfach mal direkt. What is Earthfall? A disaster of untold proportions. An unborn planet dropped on Golarion by blind fate or someone's evil will. A blow so strong that the continent of Aslan is destroyed within moments, turned to ashes, whipped off the face of Golarion. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust are born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools, the soil is barren, dark creatures crawl out of their lairs to rule, and the most frightening thing, without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the age of darkness. What was that tower you mentioned? It is my retreat to the north of Keonin, my home away from home, my observatory. From its top I watched the stars, and when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here in the northern wastelands I found the highest mountain and built a tower on top of it. On clear days I could see the mist over the lake of mists and vales in the east. That's how high I was. What are you going to do next? I don't know. I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the sir raises his voice to a shout. It is merciless! It doesn't simply destroy life, it kills an era, ending the greatness of Golarian civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten as they never existed. I need to think! The elf suddenly winces and is silent for a few moments as he calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me. I shouldn't have raised my voice. The story was much harder than many before it, most likely because I played the main role in it. It is so strange to see myself feel the emotions tearing me up inside, those that I felt a long time ago and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings on your travels, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we will find out how my story ended, and perhaps even why I forgot it. Thank you for your stories. I have a few questions about our encounter in Blackwing Library. Of course, I make no secret of why I came to the library. I was looking for something. What were you doing there? I was looking for a railroad friend. Rumor has it that some ancient scroll or book about the times of Earthfall is held in Canaveras. According to legend, it describes the last day of the proud kingdom of Keonin, later abandoned by the elves fleeing Golarion. I have vague hope that the events described it and it will shed some light on my past. I see. Okay, so. Es war eine längere Lesestunde, stimmt, er hat uns einen Ring gegeben. Storytellers Ring. This ring grants her +1 luck bonus on all saving throw against fire-based effects. Deswegen. Nächstes Mal verbrennt er. Diesmal hat er Glück gehabt. So. Ich brauche das nicht ganz so dringend. Ganz gut aufgehoben wäre der grundsätzlich bei ihr. Weil sie vorne in Melee Range ist, dann kommt sie vielleicht mit ihrer Flammenhand daher und fackelt sie halbweit ab. Und beim Tank mache ich da weniger Sorgen, der wird wohl mehr aushalten. So, im Süden hat es irgendeinen Tower gegeben, den wir erkunden sollen. Party passt. Noch. Oder die Grey Garrison wegen einem Storyteller gerade. Aber die Quest für einen Tower habe ich schon länger. Und da gibt es noch eine Tirabit Residence. Da waren wir schon. Ja, ich würde sagen Tower of Astrod. Let's go. Ich werde mich verabschieden. Gute Jagd noch. Dir noch einen schönen Abend und bis bald. Ciao, ciao. You've spotted the enemies. Dann evade man sie. Dead duelists. A knight and a cultist died together here, piercing each other fatally with swords. Their remains are mangled and their weapons and armor destroyed. But something in their back survived the conflict. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Neues mit. Du kommst in den Tower ein, gleich mal alles voll mit Sachen zum Anschauen. A Word Long Gone. A thematic collection of various artists' work on everyday life in Sarcosis before the opening of the World Wound. More details in the museum's almanac. Seed of Grief. A view of the infamous Heaven's Edge estate. This is the place where most of Menevian aristocratic society at once fell prey to a supernatural plague unleashed by the demons. Ah, das sind Bilder, die da ausgeführt sind. Hallo! Canaris burns, the city should never have fallen. Fate shows no mercy. Wer bist du? Clouds may veil the stars, but nothing can hide the light in someone's soul, and I see this light in you. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with you against evil. I hear the echo of a familiar voice. I feel the warmth of my kindred flame. My brother, we will help you. Okay, among the cloudy of Colossi, in this pictures the two angels Targona and Lariel are chasing and fighting a deadly Waraki demon in the air several miles above the World Wound. Here we stand and will not take a step back. The hand of the inheritor, Herod of Imiode, is depicted placing the first Watson among the fortifications of Canabras. This is Janiel, Crusader Queen, a copy of famous embossed bass relief furniture created by Master Derek Sunhammer. Das ist dieser Schmied da. Young Queen Gelfrey is portrayed personally leading her crusaders into battle on the 1st of Abydos. Farewell to Sarkoris. Eliandra, the legendary priestess of Pulura, watches the city of East crumble into a freshly opened world wound. Nochmal Janiel. By a fountain. The picture was presumably painted from life over the summer 4637, 1 year before Janiel's heroic death during the Battle of Dresden. No one will escape my all-seeing eye. Consider Huron fights a shadow demon in the exhaust from a soldier's body. Okay. Na dann, fangen wir einfach mal bei ihm an. Canaris Burns. Okay, sagen die alle vielleicht nicht mehr? Gut, die sagen das, was sie gerade schon gesagt haben, und da ist komisches rotes Geschmiere am Boden, was eher kultistenlastig ausschaut. Locked from inside. Das heißt, ich kann da nichts machen, oder was?
Let us press on.
Ah doch, da komme ich auf. Faxon. The red-skinned, long-haired tiefling raises his pain-filled eyes to you. A huge magical brand stands out on his chest, freshly burned into his skin. The flesh around the brand is inflamed and has an unhealthy-looking hue. Hey, stop! Who are you? Crusaders? Well, well, well. I was looking to add a couple more Crusader heads to my collection and all. Why just assume we are Crusaders though? Where do you get the idea, huh? I mean, do we look like Crusaders? Oh, right. The tiefling notices the sacred symbol of Eomida gleaming on the parent's chest and says, I suppose that explains it. You certainly don't look like a Crusader. Thank you! We're no Crusaders, we're just ordinary thieves, vagrants and beggars. Well, and some local princess. You can take her and we'll be on our way. You're trying to lie to me, freak? I see the blood of the conquerors of this world flows in your veins, as it does in mine. You could have been on our side, but instead you are bowing and scrapping for the mortals. You can die with them. So, wir haben einen Intimidate 21er Check und erstaunlicherweise ist die Witch da am höchsten. Wow, 7 oder höher, let's go! Yes! Succeeded! Warriors with him. Only a cowardly rebel have remained behind with Faxon. Half of them quickly turned to flee the tower with Faxons rebuking profanities, following them as they go. I can kill you right now, or I can give you a few moments of life if you answer my questions. The tiefling shouts a vicious grin. You won't be getting out of here alive either way, so... why not? Let's have a chat. Who are you? You don't look like a museum worker. I am Faxon, servant of Baphomet, the ranking member of the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth in the city, a new master of this tower. And you'd better watch your mouth, or else my curses will rip your soul to flaming shreds. What did you forget in the museum? For the last 3 months, this tower has served as a cover for me and my servants. I set up my base in the cellar of the local museum and smuggled an entire regiment of my Templars into the city. It's the ideal place for a secret hideout. The museum was left in charge of a doddering old man who can hardly remember his own name. When our lord struck Canabras, we plunged into a blade into a crusader's back, and a glorious fight it was. Now, Lord Xanthi has ordered us to strip Canabras of everything that might be of interest to him and remove it from the city. He is a great master of the occult and magical arts, and this museum is chock full of all kinds of relics that could prove very interesting to study. Klar, dann beleidigen wir ihn auch noch wegen einer Tätowierung. Why not? You look awful. What's wrong with your tattoo? Lady Minago was displeased with me. She branded me with this rune to make me suffer. Minago wanted me to subjugate the demons of our ally Descari, to wrest control away from that idiot Kilas. But I failed. But it seems my luck is turning. You don't look like rank and file crusaders. When I bring Minago your heads, all will be forgiven and she'll remove this brand. You should have run when you first saw me. Faxon's eyes narrow in a fury as he releases a fair shriek that sets his gang slavering for your blood. The demons and Templars give answering howls to their leader and surge forward to attack. Okay, da haben wir auch noch wen. Wer ist denn gerade dran? Das ist ein Meisterschütze.
Did I mess up again?
Surrender or else!
Dann gehen wir mal mit alle in Position auf. Ah, ich hab da einen Buff gekriegt von dem einen Engel wahrscheinlich. Steht halt nicht, was er macht, aber... whatever. Okay, so weit kann er nicht schießen.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Läuft auf, Rad wieder um. Genial. Okay, Charge ist nicht drin. Naja, dann normaler Angriff. Sehr schön. Klar, eine Burning Hands, oder? Ja.
Hold back.
Nimm mal nur den normalen Ping Spell, der macht zwar nicht viel, aber er kostet halt dafür auch nix. Will er mich von hinten angreifen, oder? Original. Gut. Aber das kriegen wir schon geregelt. Das ist jetzt nicht wirklich die Gefahr dahinter.
I'll cut you wide open.
Der Lance sollte es eigentlich easy geregelt kriegen. Easy. Bisher ist der eher als Caster aufgetreten. Die könnt ja probieren, ihn einfach zum Schlafen zu bringen. Was scheinbar sogar funktioniert.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
The spirits demand your blood.
Endure this.
So, das wird ein böses Erwachen für den Jungen, hä?
Did I mess up again?
Charge ist gerade nicht drin. Schade. So, Vulnerability Curse. Da jetzt A drauf, perfekt. Wenn ich kennt dem hätte sein. Ja, whatever. Druck mal den Bone Shaker auf. Er ist zwar eigentlich Overkill, aber so viel Damage hat es dann auch wieder nicht gemacht, gell? Der hat nicht einmal sein Fortitude Saving Throw geschafft. Vielleicht war es doch kein Overkill? So, was haben wir da jetzt an? Bewilderung Injury. -2 Penalty to AC. -2 Penalty on Attack Rolls. Target speeds are reduced to half. Da ist eh das am gescheitsten dabei.
Distract them from me.
You are today's sacrifice.
Ah, warum hast du Point Blank aktiv?
Make
Fail.
every strike count.
Gut. War jetzt nicht so die Gefahr.
get it. The mongrel did it. Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome.
Ah, okay, da kannst du vor die schon schwächen, indem man sie einen Zeig auf den Schädel
Might be
wirft.
trap, might be treasure.
I hope you appreciate this.
Definitiv. So, da war auch noch ein Check. Mal schauen, ob man da irgendwas machen kann. Ah, da war auch... Wahrscheinlich komme ich da gleich da her und dann runter, aber...
Just don't blame me.
Okay, jetzt bin ich runtergefallen, oder was?
So awesome, Lan.
Autsch! Das war jetzt nicht so der Burner, Alter. What the hell?
I will help where I can.
Hilft einmal, indem du eine Healpods nimmst, hä? Ja, und dann machen wir noch einen Spell.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
Matritium Turinos.
Ein magischer Buckler. Guten Abend. Na, was habe ich verpasst? Das fragst du, wenn der Stream schon seit 3/4 Stunde läuft. Einen Moment. So viel. So viel. Enhancement +1. Da, viel Spaß mit deinem magischen Schild. Den normalen Buckler kannst du gleich droppen. Wir haben seine Sidequest abgeschlossen, weil, also, wo wir ihn befreit haben, hat er gesagt, er muss zurück zu seinen Schurkenkollegen und bla blub, ja, halt mit der Chefin reden. Die hat ihn dann des Verrats beschuldigt. Da kommt dann eine Quest, wo es darum geht, wer beim Raubüberfall jetzt der Verräter war. Da haben wir den Verräter gefunden und im Zuge dessen haben wir noch einen weiteren Charakter gekriegt, und zwar den Finian. Der Finian ist eine magische, sprechende Waffe, also das war früher mal ein Mensch, der dann irgendwie in eine Waffe transformiert worden ist, und diese Waffe kann jede Waffenform annehmen. Also wenn ich den Finian als Kurzschwert haben will, dann klicke ich halt drauf, oder wenn ich ihn als Crossbow haben will, dann klicke ich halt da drauf. Und momentan ist er ein Rapier für sie, und mit dem Finian kann man eben auch reden. Der hat wohl sicher auch noch irgendwie eine eigene Quest dann. Nachdem wir das gemacht haben, haben wir den Storyteller gesucht und gefunden. Das ist dieser Elf, der vor dem Unglück im Vorfeld schon gewarnt hat. Und dann haben wir den gerettet und mit dem ganz, ganz viel Story erlebt. Also der hat uns jede Menge Geschichten zu den Items erzählt, die wir bisher haben. Und jetzt bin ich dann einfach zur nächsten Area aufgebrochen, die ich auf der Map noch gehabt habe. Das ist da dieser Turm. Da bin ich jetzt an. Ich weiß nicht zu 100% genau, was ich da in dem Turm vorhab. Aber irgendwas wird es schon sein. Das gehen wir einfach mal in den Keller. Es ist halt echt viel so storymäßig irgendwie passiert, ja. Musst du entscheiden, ob du das musst. Wie geht's dir? Habt ihr einen angenehmen Sonntag gehabt, den Kirchtag vor der Haustüre genossen?
Our path leads on.
Okay, wer kommt da daher? Telma, a pale and frightened half-elf looks at you warily. His face is twisted into a grimace like he just ate something slimy. Hey, who are you? Praise Baphomet! What are you doing here? Did Faxon send you? I heard a noise outside, but I was busy making a list of relics. Did something happen? Who are you? I am Telma, the scribe and senior aide to Lord Xantia, the Plagued One, and, do forgive me, but Faxon has been assigned to his command, has he not? Where is he? Also der Faxon ist oben der Kultist, den wir gerade vorher umgebracht haben. What are you doing here? I am compiling a list of valuable Crusader artifacts. Lord Xantia has ordered that everything of use should be transported from Canabris and saved from the looting and destruction. We chose the museum as the place to collect and sort through the trophies. Unfortunately, the local thieves have proved even quicker off the mark than the demons. They ransacked the museum in the first few hours of the assault. But there are some objects of interest among the exhibits they left behind. The museum custodian has been kind enough to advise me on those. But where is Faxon? War ein müder Sonntag, war eh um 8 schon vorbei mit dem Lärm, also so schlimm war es nicht. Wie war dein Sonntag? Oh, meiner war ganz entspannt. Ob daheim rumgelungert, mich um ein paar Sachen gekümmert. Bei meinen Tests habe ich das Problem mit dem Mikrofon nicht nachstellen können, aber wahrscheinlich sagst du mir jetzt dann eh, dass wir das Problem immer noch haben. Habe ich sonst noch was gemacht? Na, echt nur daheim rumgelungert. Aber wie wir eh geschrieben haben, habe ich eine tolle neue Magic-Karte für mein Kleriker-Deck gefunden. Da wäre ich mal 2 in Klagenfurt beim Hive Games holen. Der Patrick sagt zwar immer, dass der zu teuer ist, und er hat grundsätzlich auch recht, dass die Karten dort teurer sind, aber der Punkt ist, ich kann mir entweder die Karte zweimal bestellen, dann zahle ich 17 Euro irgendwas, oder ich kann sie unten kaufen, dann zahle ich halt 20 Euro. Und ich finde den Laden nett, der Preisunterschied ist minimal. Ja, die Fahrt nach Klagenfurt, aber hin und wieder muss man einen Ausflug machen. Also, why not? I guess. So. Ein lokales Geschäft zu unterstützen ist nie schlecht. Genau. Siege ja so. Wenn jetzt echt so irgendwie was zu 10 Euro wären, dann macht es nicht wirklich Sinn für den Fall. Aber bei 3 Euro, vielleicht nehme ich noch irgendwas anderes mit, weil ich mir gerade spontan denke, hey, das brauche ich, was es auch immer ist. Ja. Finest thieves in Mendev. Turn your back and everything that isn't nailed to the floor will be gone when you turn around. The demons have no chance against them. Masters of our trade we are. There you go, bragging again, dummy. Thieving has never led to anything but harm, trust me. If you fought the way you thief, now that might be useful. So schlecht kämpft er gar nicht. Patrick hat die Woche Urlaub, kannst ihn dir auch mitnehmen, falls die Woche noch fährst. Ja, ich arbeite die Wochen halt bis 18 Uhr, also ich meine, wenn er so spät noch fahren will, der Laden hat lang genug offen, aber das rede ich spontan mit ihm aus. No, thanks, every person has their calling and this is mine, but imagine, if you fought as well as with thief... Where is the museum custodian? Over in the gallery. I deceived him. I told him I was a crusader. It wasn't difficult. The old geezer is out of his mind. So tell me, where is Faxon? Ganz ehrlich, wenn der Typ für die Kultisten arbeitet, keine Gnade. Let's go. The half-elf leaps back, nimbly pulling a sheaf of paper from his bag as he goes. No! I have valuable letters from Lord Xantia here. I must destroy them. The cultist pours the pages up in his fist and shoves them into his mouth, then begins chewing like a hamster. A moment later, the half-elf's eyes bulge and he opens his mouth, which is stuffed with masticated paper. He tries to cough, but nothing comes out. The failed servitor looks at you in desperation. His eyes are steaming, his face is growing paler by the second, and he falls to his knees. A strangled wheeze emerges from behind the wet paper. His expressions veer from the hilarious to grotesque as he signals to you for help. Want some salt or pepper with that? No, I've never tried eating paper myself, but a little seasoning goes a long way whatever the meal. Wir könnten ihm helfen. Vielleicht erkennt er dann seine Fehler. Also ihn laufen zu lassen war keine Option. Früher. Aber vielleicht erkennt er dann seine Fehler, wenn die Crusader ihm helfen. Ich werde ihm helfen. I don't care if those pages contain the innermost secrets of Varant himself. I'm not touching that. Damn it. Der Mensch ist das einzige Tier, das nicht aus seinen Fehlern lernt. Mehr, er läuft eh. The cultist coughs violently and then, after taking a trembling breath, leaps up and takes off running. He disappears, leaving you with the wet of correspondence that is much the worse for wear. Masticated letter. Okay, den lesen wir uns gleich noch durch. Übrigens. Warte mal. Wenn man das. Die leuchtet auch. Kriegen wir das irgendwie auf dunkel? Ja, so wird's dunkler. Da! Das nicht cool? Ist die nicht geil? Also ich habe jetzt nicht vor zu streamen, allein schon, weil ich dann Kontaktlinsen tragen müsste, was absolut unangenehm ist auf Dauer. Aber ich habe das heute zufällig irgendwie... Ist es nicht geil? Wie die leuchtet! So. Wie ein Knicklicht. Original, ja. Also, die leuchtet wirklich extrem. Wenn ich da nur so schaue, wie die da neben mir liegt, das... What the hell? Einfach nur krass. So, irgendwo haben wir dieses komische Zettelwerks von diesen Kultisten. Da ist er. A wad of crumbled pieces of paper with visible bite marks and traces of saliva. The writing is blurred and indistinct. Most of the words are completely illegible, but some fragments are still intact. Blinded by the sunglasses. Könnte passieren. Carefully pack up all the relics and very magical items and hand them over to the same courier that brought you my potions. Later, I may carve out some time away from my scientific research to sift through the detritus you managed to steal from the Crusaders. I might as well not bother, since your finds will honestly certainly be of no use to me. Unless I find myself in dire need of a paperweight. Still, this mission keeps you occupied and gives me an invaluable opportunity to work without you sticking a nose into my experiments. I once again remind you that it is absolutely essential to store the potions in a safe place, sealed with a corresponding protective rune. Should these safety measures not be taken, the demons will drink all your stash dry in no time at all, and your master will order me to spend 3 more days at the cauldron making a new batch. Believe it or not, I discover that the potions have mysteriously disappeared. I will not try to look for the culprit. I will punish the person who let it happen, the person who failed to secure them properly. The punishment will be painful, brutal, and utterly inhuman. Remember this. Good luck with conquering whatever you're conquering out there. Xantir Wang. Nicht nett. Ah, das sind die Potions. Oder was? Dass wenn es die Potions geht, naja. This copper vessel and the oil inside it were sanctified by Relas, priest of Irmide and faithful crusader. This item was donated to the museum by Relas fellows in arms. This is a claw taken from Terendelev, the silver dragon and protector of Canaris. It was cut off by demons when Terendelev heroically saved a group of ambushed crusaders from certain death. The wand of the famous mage Zacharias, who made his name during the heroic and tragic siege of the Lost Chapel. This helmet belonged to Bathistas Scorachia, Paralictor of the Order of Gate and one of the first Hell Knights to serve his duty as a crusader. Pick the lock.
Not this time. I am helpful.
Geht doch.
Am I not?
Ganze Museum leer looten. Bisher ist eher Crap da. Bisschen Gold. Was haben wir da? Chain Shirt, Light Armor. Das könnte interessant sein. Gut, von der kann, also wenn kann es eh nur sie tragen. Sie hat da plus 2 Bonus und Concentration Checks und der Answer Armor Class. Da hat sie a 6er Armor Class? What? This is a +2 Mithril Chain Shirt. Klingt ja gut. Sie kann es ja mal anziehen, solange sie in Combat dadurch nicht wieder slow wird, sonst zieht sie halt wieder was anderes an.
I am helpful, am I not? Now what is that?
Eine Falle.
What do we have here? What's on your mind? I wonder.
So, zuerst einmal die.
I hope you appreciate this.
Noch eine? What the hell? Das ist ja alles voll mit Fallen da herin.
I am helpful, am I not? I am helpful, am I not?
Magisches Kukiri.
The spirits guide me. I hope you appreciate this.
Magischer Longbogen. Machen wir kurz mit alle eine, schauen, ob noch irgendwo was entdeckt wird. Schaut aber nicht so aus. So, kann er Kukiris benutzen? Nö. Passt. Er könnte den Bogen benutzen. Wir haben entweder den Wicked, den er Hits verwendet. der mehr Damage macht. 3 bis 10 statt 2 bis 9. Der hat, whenever this +1 confirms a critical hit, all enemies in a 10 feet area must pass a reflex saving throw or become entangled for 1 round. Grundsätzlich nicht uninteressant, dieses Entangled, aber naja. Man kann sie ihr geben. Nimmt sie den halt einmal mit, you never know. So, das müsste dann wohl der Custodian sein. Schaut sich nicht aus. Zu viel Bücher. Irgendwann arbeiten wir uns langsam durch die Bücher durch. Jetzt ist er da hinten umgegangen. Flüchten Sie nicht, junger Mann! The old man, looking around, absent-mindedly shrinks away as you get closer. His head seems to shackle uncontrollable, but his hands are surprisingly deft and assured as they level a magic wand at you. Stay back! Which are you, robber or demon? Hey, take it easy, Gramps. So that's the way it is, huh? You see horns and you think of thief or a demon? Quit scaring the old man, dummy. Have you seen your horns? They, how should I put this, don't exactly inspire trust in a city that's currently overrun with demons. Da ist was Wahres dran. Hey, there are horns and then there are horns. Not going to hurt you. The old man goggles at you in terror, but he doesn't lower his wand. A rustling comes from somewhere behind him. Rats. The old man veers around fearfully and peers in the direction the sound came from. The hand holding a run gradually falls to his side. When he turns back to you, there is no fear in his expression, only vague confusion. I'm sorry, I was distracted. What were we talking about? Glaubt der Typ ist schon ziemlich vergesslich. Who are you? The old man lowers his wand in confusion. I think his expression grows distraught and mournful, as though he is on the verge of crying. I forget. His gaze falls on a piece of cloth carefully stitched to his cloak, which reads, Teil, Tower of Asteroid Museum Custodian. Custodian here. My memory isn't what it once was. My faculties are failing me. But at one time my mind could cut like a diamond. I was a battle mage, one of the few who survived the Battle of the Lost Chapel. But I'm an old man now. Sometimes I set down my keys one moment, the next I can't remember where I've put them. With a pleased smile, the old man pulls a hefty set of keys from his pocket and proudly shows them to you. Here they are, my keys, my little lovelies. I would never give you away to anyone. Remembering himself, the old man hastily stows the keys back in his pocket. What are the keys for? Oh, these keys are for everything. You can open every door in the Tower of Asteroid with these. The museum custodian on duty must carry these keys at all times and never be parted from them, not even for a second. And why is that? Because if the keys were left unattended, they would be pinched by thieves, wouldn't they? Thieves would strip the museum of all its treasures. Musst du kurz Nachricht schauen? What are you all looking at me for? Give me the keys. Out of question! According to museum protocol, the custodian does not have the right to hand over the keys to another. I am personally responsible for the safety of the exhibits and the storeroom. Diplomacy. Plus 14 und a 20er check. Don't you understand? This museum holds things that could help in a fight against the demons. Biting his lip, the old man holds out the keys to you. You're right, I'm just an old duffer. Take whatever will help you and go defend our city. Why did the demons spare you? The museum custodian looks at you in dark surprise. Demons? There have been no demons in this museum. I heard them breaking into the tower, but then everything went quiet. Then a very polite young fellow came along, a half-elf. He said Canabras was under attack, but that the Crusaders had already recaptured the tower. He said he'd been set to oversee the evacuation of the museum. He was very pleased to find me here. I've proved a very useful resource. I showed him all the most valuable relics, explained what they were, and then wrapped them up, labeled them, and carried them off somewhere. And I've been here all this time. I locked the doors and stood guard to make sure no demon got in. But I've seen not one of them. I haven't heard any either. I've grown hard of hearing over the years. Muss wissen, dass das ein Demon Worshipper ist? Es hilft ihm eh nicht. Er vergisst's wieder, es bringt ihn jetzt nur durcheinander. Die Schlüssel habe ich schon. Whatever. Are you alright? Old age, my young friend, old age and the poison of fear seeping into my mind. Both have turned me from a crusader and battle mage into a sorry specimen you seen before you. This museum is all I have. Whenever I forget who and where I am, I just read the exhibit labels. They have the past just like me, and I am very frightened. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. All the scary things have already happened. They are in the past. Scary. So scary. Go to the Defender's Heart. There are good people there. They'll look after you. Really? It's safe there? But how can I leave the museum? You know what happened here, don't you? Thieves. They were prowling about. Wanted to rob the museum. But I stopped them. Those ne'er-do-wells came here and I gave them what for? A dose of battle magic. They won't be back. Don't worry about me. I may be old, but I can still hold my own. I have to go. Du hast übrigens recht gehabt. Das Mikro ist gerade wieder für ein paar gespackt. What the fuck? Why? So, ich muss da mal kurz was WhatsApp-mäßig lesen und abchecken. So, sorry. Ich musste da antworten. Mein größtes Problem übrigens wegen dem Mikrofonthema ist, dass ich nicht sehe, ob der Ausschlag im OBS zu dem Zeitpunkt ein Problem hat. Was irgendwie für die Fehlersuche voll krass cool zu wissen wäre, aber das ist halt ein bisschen das Problem, weil ich nicht weiß, was passiert und demnach zu dem Zeitpunkt nicht da auf diesen Ausschlag umschaue, der jetzt dann halt zumindest durchgehend läuft. Also wenn wir jetzt dann gerade in der Redetirade keinen Aussetzer gehabt haben, dann hilft das halt nicht. Jo. Ich muss mir irgendwas überlegen. Keine Ahnung. Ich weiß noch nicht was. Wie soll ihn das troubleshooten? Gott. So, vielleicht kann ich jetzt upstairs die Türen beim Eingang aufmachen.
Godspeed.
Die waren auch schon da, wo ich die Area betreten habe. The translucent silhouette of a winged female warrior glows softly. You brought us back to waking. Greetings. Who are you? Not who. What? Memories. This place was created as a cradle of memory and fantasy. The things that belonged to the city's heroes were kept here. People used to come to this place to remember those heroes, and myself and the others are living memories. You woke us, so here we are. Oh, ich hab gerade eine Idee. Die ist zwar semi-optimal, aber I don't care. Ich brauch das. Weil ich das nicht ausführen kann. Ich weiß, das lookt gerade weird. Das war das, was ist. Wir müssen es, glaube ich, nicht megamäßig groß machen, das sollte schon reichen. Wenn das Mikrofon noch einmal spackt, bitte kurz was im Chat schreiben, weil dann kann ich das beim Nachhorchen einfach ziemlich genau zurecht timen und mir anschauen, was dieser Ausschlag da macht. Ich lasse den jetzt dabei einfach eingeblendet. Schieben wir ihn da oben auf. Ich glaube, da sollte halt nicht wirklich bei irgendwas im Weg sein, da weil. Jo. Ich weiß, es ist nicht optimal, was Komisches eingeblendet. Aber was willst du machen? Lots of things seem silent only until you care to listen to them. Like here, someone's memory has awakened to reveal itself to us. To your memories. They wished to immortalize. Go, touch a memory. See how they remembered us. After all, this place was created so that our names would never disappear into the mists of history. There used to be a place like this near Nefholm. Quiet, calm. I used to walk among the plinth and pedestals wondering the people who founded the place. What was driving them? Were they thinking about future generations? How to pass of themselves, trying to keep their names and deeds alive? But then the ceiling collapsed, and that place didn't exist anymore, so my question was moot. Besten Dank für die Mikroansage. Dann entferne ich das jetzt auch wieder, weil mir reicht's einmal fürs Erste. Fast. So. Dann müssen wir jetzt halt einmal habe es am PC vorgeschrieben, damit ich ganz schnell sein kann. Das ist super. So, ich muss noch einmal auf WhatsApp antworten. Da geht es um meine Tante, die auf Besuch im Land ist. So. I wish I could... So, wir sind bei der Sila. I wish I could say that we have not dishonored their memory, but Canaris lies in ruins and we... But you fearlessly battle the invaders with no thought of yourself. You have earned no censor. We are proud of you. Right. In the golden days of mortal kind, lost to the demons time after time, and now their descendants are continuing their losing streak. How could they not be proud of? Hab tatsächlich eine Idee. Ist das Mikro seit dem letzten, also seit du geschrieben hast, ist seitdem das Mikro noch einmal ausgefallen? Glaube nicht, okay. Es ist ein bisschen ein Longshot. But you never know. So, mal schauen, ob es den restlichen Abend noch einmal ausfällt. Wenn es noch einmal ausfällt, bitte wieder was im Chat schreiben. Ich habe jetzt das Schwarzlicht ausgesteckt. Das Stromkabel geht nämlich im Grunde genommen genau beim Mikrokabel vorbei. Es würde mich wundern, wenn das ein Problem ist. Aber you never know, also falls es noch einmal ausfällt, was schreiben, weil dann kann ich das schon einmal ausschließen. Why did you help me? A soft smile appears on the woman's face. I sensed something in you, as if you are close to me somehow. Like we stood shoulder to shoulder, once in the face of evil, and that we must do so again. I sense that light dwells within you. Very recently you were threatened by a powerful demon, and dark bloodlust tried to enslave your soul, but you opposed it and held fast. Continue to follow the path of light, and other righteous soul will aid you and follow you. Farewell, Vision. Farewell. The power that gives you this semblance of life is running out, and soon we will once again be but memories, living only in words, pictures and songs. Okay, die Schlüssel vom Curator waren wohl nur für die Türen unten, die ich eh schon geknackt habe. Servants of the Abyss. You will but memory. Okay, irgendwie hat mir nur die Ahne geholfen, warum auch immer. Und den Buff habe ich ja immer noch. Aber wenn ich nicht weiß, was er macht, das ist einfach nur irgendein Buff.
Let us press on.
Okay. Ich glaube, ich bin mit dem Museum fürs Erste fertig. Ich würde jetzt nicht sagen, was ich da noch machen kann. Im Keller war nicht mehr. Da oben ist nicht mehr. Ist irgendwie schräg, weil besonders viel war da jetzt dann nicht. Aber vielleicht spielt es später noch einmal eine Rolle, weil das da noch mehr von diesen Spirits sein ist schon interessant. Gut, dann sind wir Tower of Astaroth soweit einmal durch. Dann kennt ihr daher und dann weiter zu der Residence. Was sie dort da immer will, aber irgendwas wird sich schon ergeben. Oder wir gehen noch in die Grey Garrison. Na, die Garrison kann warten. Okay. Der Schurke ist exhausted, Pala ist exhausted. Das heißt, wir werden noch die Ritual Side angehen und dann auf jeden Fall einen Rest einlegen. Weiß nicht, warum ich da ständig Lore-Checks mache. All characters are fatigued. A fatigue cannot charge and takes a -2 penalty to strength and dexterity. After a complete rest, fatigued are no longer fatigued. Would you like to begin resting? Ja, dann machen wir es halt gleich. So. Protective Rituals. Bin ich mit +9 am besten. Camouflage. Er hat 14. Let's go. Nightwatch. +11. Sehr gut. Er wäre mit 9 der zweitbeste, aber Camouflage ist mal wichtiger. Sie ist mit +1 pretty much useless. So mal sie her. Alchemy. +7. Why not? Der kann sagen, nö, ich will jetzt schlafen, nicht später. Ist richtig. Ah, ich kann Scroll Scribing und Protective Rituals machen. Aber Scroll Scribing ist sie besser. Nicht, dass sie Scrolls scriben wird. Aber wir können die Einteilung ja mal machen. Aha, da schau, und dann sagt er mal noch, dass der Wolchief einen Free Spell Slot hat. Was ist denn los? Ja, was ist denn da los? So. Will ich bei denen überhaupt Mage Armor haben? Das ist ja nichts. Ich will bei ihm, glaube ich, auf jeden Fall Shocking Grasp. Ah, wobei man in Melee casten ist immer gefährlich. Ich glaube, das Mikro war kurz weg. Okay. Gut. Zahlt sich jetzt nicht aus, das noch einmal wieder einzustecken. Ich schaue mir dann morgen das an, was ich aufgenommen habe. So, ich meine, ich glaube, ein weiterer Grease ist sicher vielleicht auch nicht verkehrt. Was ist das sonst noch? Ray of Sickening. Your gestures and droning encounter and fascinate nearby living creatures, causing them to stop and stare blankly at you in a dazed condition. Sleep. All enemies within a 10-foot burst. Braucht kein Mage Armor, der braucht kein Mage Armor. Der braucht aber auch keine Burning Hands. Ich geh noch einmal auf Grease. Ich sieg bei dem die Burning Hands nicht. Gehen wir Sleep. Color Spray, Grease. Ich glaube, Grease kann Full Value haben. So, und dann haben wir Stufe 2. Invisibility. Hideous Laughter. Klingt eigentlich gut. Können wir einmal Invis, vielleicht brauche ich es irgendwann und einmal Hideous Laughter. So, jetzt können wir resten. Wenn ich den Button finde. Da ist er. Wardstone. I wouldn't mind getting a closer look at the thing. Maybe take a little piece. Only with the best intention. Honest, magical stuff is my specialty. Maybe I'll tinker with it to make it even better at chasing away demons. I don't think so. You dummy. It's not just an artifact, it's a divine gift. Do you know who put it here in Canarest? The hand of the inheritor, that's who. The herd of Iomede and generally the armies of heaven. So I don't think a Turek like you can improve it. Achso, na. Doch. Ritual Side. Und dann weiter zur Residence. Der Ladebildschirm ist schon einmal einladend, aber der ist vom Marktplatz, der ist glaube ich nicht von da. Warum geht die Camilla ganz vorne? Das Game wird wohl hoffentlich wissen, was es tut. Macht doch überhaupt keinen Sinn, oder?
I won't let you hurt my friends.
This spell's faulty. No, really.
Du musst sie ins Trockene bringen. Wie meinst du denn das? Was ist denn das für ein Typ? Was mache ich mit dem? Ein Bleeding Touch drauf, gib ihm. Miss. Großartig. brennt's. Da hat's voll gerannt und die Katze war im Regen. Oh nein!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The inheritor. That is my
Sehr gut. One down. Combat looten! Combat looten! Okay, da hinten ist ein Dämonenviech. Und wir haben halt trotzdem zuerst schon, dass wir den wegkriegen. Okay, der hat gesessen.
Go for their hearts!
Jetzt kennt die Hex kennt gleich heilen.
Won't survive me.
Perfekt. So, die hat nämlich Healing. Entweder Moderate, die hat, genau, die hat diesen eigenen Healing Spell da. So, und da vorne war irgendwo noch ein Dämonenviech. Oder? War der nicht da? Doch, da ist er.
This spell's faulty. No, really.
Scouten wir mal in die Richtung, aber sonst ist gerade keiner zu sagen. Spell Resistance? Wie unhöflich!
I'll cut you wide open!
Lan?
Endure this.
Sehr schön, sehr schön. Vielleicht kann man ihn einschläfern. Scheinbar nicht. Charge!
Cover me, all right?
Geht sich nicht aus, das Light Wounds. Aber ihr könnt bis daher vorgehen und dann ein Channel Positive Energy machen.
The spirits demand your blood!
Und Lan wird regeln, oder?
Make every strike count.
Lan regelt.
You can trust me.
So, da kommen wir in eine Residence eine. Mal schauen, ob es da draußen sonst noch was gibt. Zurück zur World Map. Das klingt jetzt dabei nicht so interessant. Jetzt wieder eine Sauerei da am Boden. Hey, wer wird denn das aufwischen? Okay. Dann bleibt wohl nur der Weg rein.
My tail is switching. Must be a sign.
I am helpful, am I not? Save the last one for me.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Bin nicht so hyped davon, dass sie so weit vorne ist, um ehrlich zu sein.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Too late for apologies.
Okay, da drin haben wir einen Succubus.
Into the fray.
Was? Er hat meinen Schurken bezaubert.
You won't survive me.
Was mach ich denn jetzt an? Gut, so. Den Spell auch noch rausgekriegt. Das war Flugviecherin. Hi. Kriege ich einen Scream of Sea, ja. Okay, wie schlimm ist es? Außer dass mein Schurke immer noch auf irgendeine leicht bekleidete Tusse hurcht. Schaut's glaube ich nicht so schlimm aus. Wenn wir das smiten und dann draufhauen.
Take you.
Endure this.
Keine große Leistung, Lan. Keine große Leistung.
Go for their hearts!
Bitte, really? Die treffen nix. Wo schauen denn die hin? Die leicht bekleidete Tussi ist auch eine Succubus. Kein Wunder also. Das ist ja keine Ausrede nicht. Kann ich den nicht irgendwie zurückholen? Versuch's mit einer Ohrfeige. Ich hab probiert ihn einzuschläfern. Er hat widerstanden. Oh, er ist wieder auf meiner Seite. Let's go.
Inheritor, guide my blade.
Lan, streng dich an.
Every strike count.
Nicht viel besser als vorher, aber
I'll cut
immerhin
you
ein
wide
Hit.
open.
Distract them for me.
Immerhin ein feiner Hit dabei. So, jetzt haben wir noch ein Negative Energy eine. Schön.
mongrel.
Der trifft nix.
The spirits demand your blood.
Time to share your treasures. Ah!
Ah, schon wieder Spell Resistance. Schrei mal sie noch einmal an.
The light. Take you.
Okay, so
You
und
won't survive me.
okay, jetzt kann ich dafür nicht mehr schießen. War nicht so die Idee.
You are today's sacrifice.
Cover me, all right?
Die treffen nix. Die treffen einfach nix. Schon wieder Spell Resistance.
The inheritor. Guide
Endlich!
my blade.
Wir haben einen Hit.
Endure this.
Komm, da fällt
Go
nix
for their
mehr.
hearts.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Strike as one.
Immerhin ein ganzer Damage.
I'll hit you.
Und der magischer Rapier. Hallo. So, Cloak. Resistance plus 1 plus 3 Competence Bonus to Stealth Skill Checks. Schönen Kampf in echt vor. Sie kann halt wie vorbeischlagen, so voll tollpatschig. Ja, der Fight hat, glaube ich, ein gutes Bild abgeben. Ich glaube, das ist ein guter Schurkenumhang. So, der Rapier. Rapier plus 1 ist schlechter als Finian. Theoretisch macht halt Radiance noch nicht so viel Sinn. Ich meine, ihr könnt ihr einfach den Rapier geben. Aber so Radiance, die Waffen kann man sicher irgendwie besser machen, aber dabei macht sie halt nicht viel Sinn. Aber ja, nach der Reihe hauen sie einfach nur in der Luft rum, hä? Negative Level. Ah,
Let us
can be
not
removed
hesitate.
through spells like Restoration. Das habe ich da irgendwo.
Magnetium Turinos.
Together we stand. No reason to pause.
Okay, scheinbar braucht man richtige Restoration und nicht nur eine lesser Restoration.
No, what is that?
Irabeth's Lever. Und das war's dann da auch schon, oder? Na, dann lesen wir mal den Brief. Anevia, if you're reading this, know that I'm alive and I'm rallying a troop of survivors to rise to the city of defense. to the city's defense. We are going to fight our way to the Defender's Heart, Evan. Set up our command there and hold the line until help arrives, or if the goddess wills it, we'll launch an attack at the of you. And I trust that we'll see each other again in this world. Irabeth. Okay.
Our path leads on.
Mikro, danke. Dann ist es also nicht das Licht. Aber es ist definitiv nicht das Licht. Sehr gut. Etwas ausgeschlossen. Es war zwar nicht sehr wahrscheinlich, dass es das ist, aber etwas ausgeschlossen. So, dann gehen wir noch zurück zum Defender's Heart. You spotted the enemies. Fight oder evade? Ach, wir sind am Rückweg. Fight.
Yet another obstacle.
I'll cut you wide open.
Into the fray!
Stell dir einmal vor, wir hätten so riesige Spinnen. Also ich habe echt keine Angst vor Spinnen, aber wenn sie so riesig rumlaufen würden,
Make every strike count.
begeistert wäre ich auch nicht. Sag ich ganz ehrlich.
The spirits demand your blood.
Gut, damit hätten wir das erledigt. Nö, so klein wie sie sind, passen sie ganz gut. Größer muss jetzt echt nicht sein. Ja, siege auch so. Okay, noch ein Fight.
Can we retreat already?
Generell Insekten sollen so bleiben, wie sie sind. Ja, stimmt schon. Das kann man generell anwenden. Gib wieder recht. So, da könnt ihr gleich drauf einstechen. Dann macht es einmal. Stabby, stabby. Effizientes Stabby, stabby. Da hinten ist auch noch einer.
You are today's sacrifice.
You brought the wrong mongrel. Did you see that?
Len! Beherrsch die! Das ist... Wenn ich am Rückweg bin, er bringt ein bisschen Kohle ein, der Bogen. Stell dir Riesengelsen vor, wenn die einmal anfängst, bis 3/4 voll blutlos. Oh mein Gott! What the fuck? Jetzt ist da noch so ein Flugviech. What the... Du hast einmal den Kipp offen, Alter. So, wir sind zurück in der Taverne. Dann können wir dem noch... Really? Also, bin grundsätzlich nicht dafür, dass man alle Insekten tötet, die da so daherkommen. Aber wenn es so penetrant ständig in mich reinfliegt. Da ist noch ein drittes. Das ist jetzt das dritte. So, noch kurz konzentrieren. Will ich da sonst noch was verkaufen? Ja, den Müll. Ich glaube, der Rest kann da weil einmal so bleiben. So, Character Sheet hat sie wahrscheinlich immer noch ihr Negative Level, oder? Ich werde schauen, ob das mit Rest weggeht.
I am so weary of carrying my pack. I wonder if some chivalrous fellow would deign to help me.
Most certainly. Wait just a moment while I fetch a commoner to carry it for you.
Alter.
We just so happen to have an overabundance of commoners in our party.
Boah. Die Baden, hey. Sie ist ja normal okay, aber... Adel. Passt. Negative Level ist weg. Safe Game. Jetzt muss ich dann gleich noch das letzte Insekt irgendwie loswerden. Ja. Also, es ist wieder was weitergegangen heute. Der Storyteller ist eigentlich, soweit ich es mitgekriegt habe, Main Story Part gewesen. Kann ich ja wirklich empfehlen, dem sein Part war cool. Also den Storyteller Part würde ich auf jeden Fall nachschauen, falls wer nicht gesehen hat. Entweder dort Twitch oder ich exportiere es jetzt dann eher wieder rüber auf YouTube. Morgen wird es keinen Stream geben. Da bin ich am Abend voll verplant. Also geht's voraussichtlich, so wie es derzeit ausschaut, am Dienstag weiter. Sollte sich spontan meine ganze Verplantheit, also sprich was ausgemacht ist, auflösen, dann gibt es natürlich einen Stream, aber Stand heute ist morgen Abend voll verplant. Und dann wäre der nächste Stream eben am Dienstag. Ja, ich sag vielen, vielen Dank an alle, die da waren. Nebenbei werde ich versuchen, das Problem mit dem Mikrofon zu finden, irgendwie, wo auch immer, keine Ahnung, früher oder später werden wir dem auf die Schliche gehen, was es ist und dann lösen, irgendwie, was auch immer das Problem ist. Also, schlaft's gut, träumt's schön, startet's morgen gut in die Woche, lasst euch vom Montag nicht die Laune verderben und wir sehen uns voraussichtlich am Dienstag. Ich freue mich schon und ich habe mich sehr gefreut, dass ihr da wart. Ciao, ciao, Papa und bis bald.
Glamorous design and broken lives. These cameras clicking sights are turning bus out, shone it's over.